Oh, the excitement at the MCG is palpable as Richmond and Carlton prepare to go at it here in this elimination final. We're not far away from the first bounce of this game with thanks to Brighton Toyota First. They are first with the feeling. There's a late change here, some late drama. We'll get down to Daniel Harford. McLean is out of the side and Nick Dygan's the super late replacement.
Yeah, that's right, Rob. Big news down here. Brock McLean, I just had a chat to one of the staff of the Carlton bench and said, what happened to Brock? And we gave him to the very last minute, they said, and he didn't quite get up and didn't want to push it. So Dygan has been given the opportunity to play today. And you talk about the atmosphere. It is unbelievable down here. It's a sea of yellow and black and navy and white here for this capacity crowd at the MCG. We're 5 minutes away. But that is huge news on the back of McInnes coming in for Casbold as well. So there's been 2 late changes for the Blues today. No changes for the Tigers. Shane Tuck will be the sub for them and Troy Menzel for the Blues. But it is drama-packed already in the build-up to it's going to be a fascinating clash.
Gee, that is big news, Half. Brad, would that give Carlton the opportunity to revisit their sub? I mean, they named Troy Menzel their sub, 45 minutes ago. Does that give them the opportunity to revisit that, or are they locked into Menzel being the sub? Do you know the answer to that question?
It's a good question. I suspect you could change it, but you just have to give the opposition notice as well as soon as you change it. But obviously it changes your team balance if you get an injury in the warm-up. We had a situation 2 years ago against Essendon where we lost 2 in the warm-up. We had to pull David Hale out of the stands, who was eating a pie at the time, and put him into the side, which obviously a ruckman in to replace a rover. So I imagine you could, but we'd have to double-check that.
Just watching the warm-up there, I don't know whether it means anything or not, but Henderson was kicking in from full back, which makes me think perhaps he'll start in the back half.
Well, both teams are lined up in the middle of the MCG. Craig Willis is our master of ceremonies. We're getting down to him for the national anthem.
At the MCG. As you now please join with the players, coaches and umpires as we stand for the Australian national anthem.
You off your feet, doesn't it? It is absolutely spectacular. Looking around the grandstands to the absolute highest peaks, there's hardly a spare seat in the place. Home Timber and Hardware recruited a year. It's where the tradies go. Tate Plattmans and Footscray. We'll keep an eye on Chaplin, Gloston, Pettard and Edwards at Carlton Men's. We'll see if any of the new boys can have an influence today. We're not too far away from an opening bounce of the elimination final of 2013.
This quarter of SEN football for Batocchi, famous hams, bacon and salami. Batocchi, simply the best.
Oh, Rob, these 3 blokes sitting behind us are lucky, aren't they? They know what it's like to be out there in the middle of all of this, and it must take you back a little bit, each and every one of you, as we wait to see the teams break into their respective areas. The Richmond boys going down to their adoring cheer squad for one last time. But what are the players going through right now? Such high expectation and high energy levels out there. What are they going through?
Look, I think the Richmond guys in particular, there'll be a lot of nerves around them. Not sure, wanting to win their first contest, get a touch early. Cochin will be wondering, will Curnow come to me? Martin, will he get to me? I think for the Carlton guys, they'll be far more settled. They almost would feel a level of a second chance to get an opportunity to play in the finals, and many of them have played finals, but that will count for little. Once the game is going, the game will be played on its merits, and you would think that the work that Richmond have been able to do over the course of the year holds them in very good stead today.
Well, gee, it was interesting, Brock McLean, wasn't it? He did that warm-up, Andy, and we thought he was ready to go. He's in the full strip, wasn't he? Yep. And all of a sudden been pulled out at the last moment. But Brad, you played in grand finals for the Brisbane Lions. But how did you feel just about at this point as you're going into your set position to start the game?
I was supremely confident. I mean, I think that was the hallmark of those Brisbane Lions sides, that we had absolute implicit trust in every one of your teammates, and you feel confident. But the reality is, this is what it's all about. This is what you play for. So the challenge for both sides, in particular Richmond, because there aren't too many out there who know what finals footy's about. It's about who can get composed as quickly as possible, settle into their the way they play, their natural habitat, and just go about it with great composure, because finals brings about a lack of composure.
The key matchups for Toyota, material handling, Australia's #1 for forklift hire. Going to be fascinating to see whether
Judd on the bench,
which is interesting.
He won't be there for long, Rob. And Henderson starting in the back line for Carlton. He's down there with Simpson, Jamison. The interesting one is Yaron also starting in the back half. Walker's there with Tui, so that's the Carlton back six.
Cruz has gone forward, so they're going to stretch them with Wade also, so they've got some tall targets down there. Warnock starting in the ruck. Gibbs is standing next to Martin as we speak for Toyota Material Handling, so Tui is starting half back line as opposed to on Martin, which he did so well a month ago.
For Richmond fans, the 12-year finals wait is over. Away we go. Huge crowd in here at the MCG. Could get beyond 90,000. Marriage up in ruck, and the ball has gone absolutely nowhere. With anticlimactic, we'll have a restart in the middle.
And Morris on Eddie Betts.
Warnock and Bigger Van go at it. It's bouncing around in the middle of the ground. Jack Revolt has the first kick at the elimination final. Sends the Tigers forward. There's a mark inside 50, Aaron Edwards.
Well, it was a big floating ball that went into the forward 50, and Zach Tui got a bit lost with the flight. And Edwards, he had 2 bites at the cherry, a little bit nervous, but there was no one within 2 metres of him when that ball hit his hands.
Brad Scott knows all about Aaron Edwards. Will he kick it?
Absolutely, he'll kick it. He was the best set shot at North Melbourne. Very, very simple goal kicking routine. Very reliable from this distance.
Brad Scott, the analyst for Midas, trusting auto service expert.
In he
comes. Brad, that's called the commentator's curse. Welcome to the box.
I'm learning.
Great to have you on board, Scotty.
Opening quarter for Batocchi, the SEN TAC scoreboard. First blood to the Tigers, not the result they would have wanted. Tui kicks to himself and plays on for the Blues. Takes it down the outer side of the MCG. A couple of numbers go up at ground level. Martin sends it back inside forward 50. Bouncing ball. Revolt couldn't get a hand to it. Vickery almost favoured by the bounce that eluded the Carlton defence. But it goes out of bounds about 10-15 metres out from the Tiger goal. Peppering early.
Big Marriage has dropped right back. Kick behind the plate.
Neither ruckman could almost get at it. Vickery and Warnock. Murphy gets his first touch, a little kick under the would-be spoil. Floston goes back. Rance back to Floston at half forward for the Tigers. Measured ball inside forward 50. Simpson came off his man brilliantly. Took a very important mark for the Blues. The kick's a turnover though. They're coming back in here, the Tigers. They get to 50. The ball goes in and it just misses to the near side again. That was Martin who started well. Another point on the board to the Tigers. 2 behinds. Carlton yet to score.
Had the better of the start here, the Tigers, but here's Dygan, the late inclusion. Hasn't been in the Carlton side much, but that kick was spot on, and Cade Simpson started beautifully. He's got it on the wing. He goes to Eddie Betts. Morris is across there to thump it away and out of bounds. And Rance was there as well as the Blues go inside 50 for the opening time in this elimination final. Boundary throw in. Bigger Van wins the tap, knocks it straight to Gibbs, who's well tackled, comes to Warnock. He goes for goal. It might be a goal. Robbie has kicked the opener of the elimination final. The Blues on the board first. They're 1 for 1 inside 50, and they lead a straight goal to the Tigers. 2 behinds, and that's all on the TAC scoreboard. Support the drive to Wipe Off 5 at wipeoff5.com.au.
Fantastic goal from Warnock, and what happened then, he went up against Marriage, and Marriage went to lay the tackle on the midfielder, just left Warnock, handball squirted out, and a play that doesn't get a lot of the football, but an early goal will give him enormous confidence, and Carlton enormous confidence.
Probably only time they're going to come together, Marriage and Warnock, is at ruck contest. They're playing wide of each other. Marriage right back behind the play, playing as the spare in general play for Richmond.
Opening quarter for Batocchi. That is one the Carlton boys would not have been expecting from Robbie Warnock. Perfect bounce in the middle of the MCG. Warnock climbs over the top and Marriage. Curnow will look at it. Gets there first. Given a bit of latitude by the umpire Scotland. Back to Warnock. Been decisive early. Inside forward 50. Out the fall of the ball. Morris wrapped up. So is Grimes. Hooley tries to get a quick kick out of the congestion. Won't go far enough. Conker tries to claim the mark. The umpire will deem that he's going to give him the benefit of the doubt on that occasion. But easily could have ping-greased Conker for not moving the ball on. The ball up, still in the centre square. Carlton's attacking in. Cruiser goes in, third man up. Clears the congestion. Garlett's got a chance. A couple of Tigers fall over. Hooley does well. Gets it to Ellis through a bit of traffic. Ellis, such a creative user, goes down the line. Edwards again on Tui. Got a height advantage over Tui. Has Edwards. Takes his second mark. Goes in towards half forward. Jamison favoured by the kick. Comes off his man. That's Rebold. Takes the mark outer side of the ground. Defensive half back for the Blues.
Good play then from Jamison, a really important player for the Blues. Backed himself to take the mark. He goes up the line. Cruiser's the target. Cruiser couldn't mark, perhaps should have. Knocked away from him by Grimes. Now the fight's on for the footy on the wing. Southern stands side of the ground. Up lets it go. And Richmond will emerge with the footy. Taken by Ellis. High kick to half forward. Revolt. Did he mark? He didn't, but Aaron Edwards.
Gee, he started well on Tui. The reach advantage, that's a worry.
Third mark for Edwards. Spearing pass, no good. Chopped off there by McInnes. Ball still in dispute. Judd's got it on the half-back line. Bell now from Judd, and the Blues running. Here's Curnow. Bangs it up towards the wing. Open spaces. Chaplin will get it for Richmond.
It's Tigers everywhere across half-back. Carlton was really around the footy. Richmond had about 3 or 4 back. It ends up with Hooley as the switch is on now for the Tigers. Rance has got it. Brings it to the members' side of the ground. Has a bounce. Has a second bounce. Running diagonally towards the boundary line. Has to kick it that way now. Goes looking for Pettard. Simpson there for the Blues, off hands out of bounds.
Pettard's role, Scotty,
yes.
I think we're both onto it. Pettard, he's playing in the forward line on Kate Simpson and trying to drag Simpson right back to the last line of defence because he's a playmaker.
Brad and Richmond would be happy Aaron Edwards on Tui. Haven't seen Tui defend a strong leading player well enough.
Aaron Edwards is 184 centimetre, but essentially a key forward. He's so strong overhead, he'll enjoy that matchup.
All those key matchups for Toyota. Material handling, Australia's number 1 for forklift hire. Ball in, just in between centre wing and half forward. Tigers attacking edge of the ground. Wrapped up his Cochin again by Curnow. Not giving him an inch at the moment, Curnow.
Walker's got Jake King. I reckon Walker would be better suited for Edwards and Tui to come across on King.
The Blues have kicked a goal. The Tigers 2 behinds, but they've had 2 very good looks and haven't made the most of either of them as Jackson is pushed over the line with a push and shove involving the push-up King.
It's an interesting point there, Rob, the matchup you were talking about. And Scotty, how long do you give that matchup a chance, the Edwards matchup, before you think about changing it?
Well, part of the problem is that Edwards has taken Tui right to the last line of defence, so Carlton are getting no offensive drive from Tui either.
Edwards, Titch Edwards, kick goes about 15-20 metres and out of bounds. So we're 70 around from Richmond's goal. They are 2 behinds, trailing the Blues a goal on the TAC scoreboard. Support the drive to wipeoff5 at wipeoff5.com.au.
Been going nearly 7 minutes on the SEN CompuStore clock.
Yeah, McInnes in the forward line, Andy, for Carlton. That's unusual.
It is an unusual move. Maybe he could be one for Aaron Edwards as well. The ball off hands, out of bounds. Carlton win about 15 metres.
Interesting how Carlton have structured up. Richmond have got 3 forwards in their forward line. Carlton don't have one. They've pushed all their numbers up around the football.
Cruiser works hard for front position. Gave Judd a look at it. Quick hands to Betts. Wrapped up straight away. Dispossessed. Bloston goes in. He's wrapped up by McInnes. Slightly high was the tackle. That's the way the umpire saw it. And the Richmond hard nut will get the free kick.
Yeah, and Delidio playing off half back at the moment for the Tigers.
Centre wing position for the Tigers. They love doing this. Just short balls across the half back line. Grigg to Hooley. They get a lot of it, these Tiger half backs. Hooley has a bounce, runs through centre half back. Shares it with Loston in the middle of the ground. Goes diagonally towards half forward. It's a beautiful kick to Rance, who's drifted down to half forward and indicates that he'll have the shot from 55. As the numbers get back, just about everybody inside defensive 50 at the moment.
Yeah, Henderson with Vickery, and the 2 ruckmen down there too, Cruiser and Marriage.
He'll take his best. It's not going to be enough. It's got right to the line. The pack fly. Gee, Marriage had a good look at it. At ground level, was it a high tackle for the Tigers? No. Pettard's in there, wrapped up. Want the free kick, Carlton supporters. Cruiser with the clearing kick. Big fist from the Tigers back inside forward 50. They share the ball with Delidio. He's good at this sort of stuff. The kick misses to the near side and just scrapes in for a behind. So wasteful early, the Tigers. They've had their share of territory, but they've been able to put it on the board. 3 behinds. Richmond, Carlton, 1 straight 6. SEN TAC scoreboard, opening quarter action.
Tui plays on and goes long, straight up the guts. Walker couldn't mark it. Little Jakey King's got it now. How's the kick to Revolt? No good. Knocked away from him. Blues defending at half-back. Tigers just need a settling goal here. Martin goes in hard. Now the scrap's on again for the footy. Richmond free kick, 55 from home.
Richmond about to go inside their forward 50 for the 9th time. Just the 2 to Carlton VRM Business Energy stats. So the game has been played in the forward half of Richmond as we speak.
Jake King with the footy, but Carlton getting huge numbers back, kicking to a very crowded forward line. So they'll need a big grab here as King kicks towards full forward. Vickery, is he marked?
Yep. Man in front.
He's going to play it. He's 15 out and should kick there first.
Well, I think if we have a look at the Chemist Warehouse replay, we might see Cruiser in the back position trying to outmark Vickery, and we'll have a look at it here.
Gee, KB won't be happy about that. Vickery outmarking Cruiser.
Well, Vickery in front, and Cruiser had the fly, but he probably should have got a big fist on it, Brad.
Coach Killer?
Yeah, that's a definite spot. I mean, Cruiser, you've got to back his decision making in there. I mean, if he can get clean hands on the ball, you encourage him to go for his mark. But I mean, Vickery is a 201 centimetre key forward. Score's the option there.
Vickery kicks Richmond's first finals goal in 12 years. And the Tigers are in front. They're 1-3-9. The Blues 1 straight. It is being played in this opening quarter for Batocchi. Famous hams, bacon and salami. Simply the best. It is being played on Richmond's terms just at the minute.
Brad, what do you make of Delidio playing across the half-back line for, we've been going 10 minutes in the first quarter?
Well, I think it's a smart move by Damien Hardwick. Very difficult to send a defensive forward to Delidio, because as soon as you do that, he drops into the midfield and can play a variety of positions. But at the moment, Delidio doesn't appear to care who he picks up. At what stages he's had Garlett, he's got Robinson at the moment, he's had Dygan at various stages. So Hawley and Delidio look dangerous off half-back.
Warnock and Vickery. Warnock goes straight underneath the footy. Vickery kept his feet and got the footy to Jackson. He spikes it in towards Martin. Fends a man off, that's Tui. Martin runs to 50, launches and just misses. Oh, it's bold, exciting stuff here from the Tigers. In fact, it's not going to be a score.
It's going to be a Carlton free kick. McGuinness got one in the gob.
Against Aaron Edwards, what we're going to assume it's against Edwards. We might see it on the Chemist Warehouse replay. He certainly seems to be the one who did the shepherd. The ball wasn't deemed to be within the required territory, I don't think, by the umpire. So McGuinness takes the free kick. No score for the Tigers. 1-3-9. Carlton 1 straight. 6:11 and a half minutes gone. SEN CompuStore clock.
Well, it's either a very guilty-looking Edwards or Cade Simpson. I know I'm backing.
Reece Conker's down, boys. Left string.
Oh no. So that's terrible news for Richmond. He looks at a world of hurt too, but Richmond emerge with the footy on the wing. Chaplin gives it to Delidio, who spears the pass to Jack Revolt. Gee, they're all over the Blues here now. Jack Revolt 75 from home, and they're carting Conker off. The trainers are carrying as Revolt kicks it out on the full, but half down to you.
Yeah, being carried off by 2 trainers for Advice Line Injury Lawyers. Reece Conker is out. Funnily enough, I watched him stretch his hamstring in a contest just in front of me about 5 minutes ago. Didn't look to be moving that well and has popped it good and proper. He's in a world of hurt. That's the last we see of him.
That is right for Advice Line Injury Lawyers. That's the first big injury story from this game. Murphy goes across the face of goal, gets it to Gibbs. Now to Tui, who's got a bit of space and room to move in. He goes down the line to Eddie Betts, who's in a world of territory on his own. He has to mark and prop as Grimes got back. Slow movement from Betts. It was a terrible kick to Curnow. Just really indecisive stuff from the Carlton veteran. And Richmond got numbers back and turned something that looked calamitous for them into an opportunity to return the favour Carlton's way. Bloston gets on it, gives it to Martin. The big switch is on, comes directly across the ground to King, who drops the mark. He's in front of Henderson. Henderson sat off him a little bit, gave King a chance to gather the footy, gain his composure, goes inside forward 50. At ground level, Jackson leads Walker to the ball, then gets around McGuinness. Still Dan Jackson tries to get a foot to the footy. Edwards is the one that picked up the crumbs. They left him alone, then goes the big check side across the face of goals and out of bounds on the full. What happened with Carlton's ball movement there?
Well, Eddie Betts short pass was a shocker. That's what happened.
Well, they were out, weren't they? And then they slowed it down, so they lost their advantage.
So Richmond getting into worrying territory. They better nail a bit of this dominance that they're enjoying at the moment. I don't know what Rance did there. He went the wrong way and the ball went the other. It allowed Wade a chance. Kick over the top to Dyke, and it was a poor one, but he got a good bounce. Not much there in terms of support, though. Delidio close to the boundary line, runs it over, and there'll be a boundary thrown. But Richmond 1-3-9. The Blues, one straight goal, 6. That's all on the TAC scoreboard.
And the Tigers down a man too, Rob, and Shane Tuck, the Subway sub, has taken the green vest off, so he'll be into the game very quickly. Changed the dynamic of the Tigers' plan, I would have thought.
And Daniel Harper there for Coates high. Umpire lets it go. Murphy's got it now. Spears the pass and Betts slides into the mark in the forward pocket. And it's rope-a-dope stuff from the Blues. They're trying to absorb this Richmond forward attacking play and then getting them on the slingshot, the modern term, and Eddie Betts has got it now in the forward pocket, and this is all set up for Eddie.
Look, they look dangerous, Carlton, when they can get it forward. The problem is they've only gone forward 3 times. 3 inside 50s to 12 for Richmond. They're getting smashed in contested possession. When Carlton can get their hands on the ball, they look dangerous.
Eddie Betts, tight angle. It won't be a goal. He's made a bit of a mess of the kick, and it's just crept in for a behind. 1-1-7 the Blues, Richmond 1-3-9 in the opening quarter for Bataki. Famous hams, bacon and salami, simply the best.
Early thoughts, boys?
Well, Richmond making all the play but not getting it on the board, Andy. They've...
The game itself and how it's been set up is not dissimilar to Freo Geelong yesterday. It was all the numbers Geelong forward line and then getting it out the back on the counter-attack. I don't know whether Carlton can sustain it like a Freo can and play that style of football, because it is Fremantle's second nature.
Hawley went short to Cochin, who kicked it out of bounds on the full. Now, they got away with it. Gee, Chaplin was giving Hawley the rounds of the kitchen. Then he gets the footy now. Gives it to Jackson, pinned in his back pocket. He's under pressure. A couple of the Carlton little boys came at him hard. Grimes, good work from Simpson. Got the footy to the ground. Robinson went straight past it. Free kick to the Tigers. In the back, not paid, says the umpire. And now it's going to be holding the ball. Huge turnover, and it'll be 50 against Grimes. No, says the umpire.
Well, he's given Waite a push. Waite's gone down. I think everybody thought maybe Grimes in the back, but as soon as that wasn't paid, he had to get it out quicker than he did, and umpire was quick to ping him.
Waite, the free kick recipient.
Well, important kick this for Jared Waite's confidence. Very much a confidence player. 20 goals, 15 he's kicked this year.
He'll kick from right on 50, you'd reckon, as he comes in on about a 45-degree angle. The Chemist Warehouse replay looked like it was a good call by the umpire. Waite comes in. It looks pretty good off the boot. That goal, umpire, does not move. And the Blues get their second opening quarter action, elimination final 2013 in front of a huge house here at the MCG. Carlton 2-1-13, Richmond 1-3-9.
A good call from a Carlton supporters umpiring type decision, Andy Marr.
No, it looked like he didn't actually make contact in Grimes' back from on.
No, fine with not paying the free kick for in the back. I would like to throw the ball to one of these umpires and have a couple of these players tackle him and see if he can get it out.
Yeah.
I mean, Grimes had no opportunity to get that ball out.
Yep. Should have Grimes got the initial push in the back free kick?
No. I don't think he pushed him, no.
Okay.
Tigers kicking efficiency, boys, is their issue. 48% for ERM Business Energy. They need to tighten up there.
So it's tight at the MCG, and the tighter it stays, the more tense it's going to get. Cochin sends Richmond forward, all on the bounce here. Ellis lurking for the Tigers, and Shane Tuck, the Subway sub, in the action there. Little kick smothered. We're across half forward for Richmond. Jakey King's got it. He gives his man the slip and then kicks towards full forward. Richmond mark. Pettard's mark for the Tigers.
Well, it was a good kick by Jakey King, because he accelerated away from his opponent. He was on the boundary line, 45 metres from goal, and I think we're all thinking, Jakey, centre it, please don't have a shot. Low percentage if you do that. He did centre it, and Pettard had the height advantage over Armfield.
Boys, Chris Judd coming off for a rest. Just the one handball so far for ARM Business Energy.
Important kick this for Richmond and for Ricky Pettard. Should goal, does goal. Richmond get their second, and Ricky Pettard, who looked just about as if his AFL career was over at the end of the last season after he was leaving Melbourne, is at the MCG before 90,000 people now playing in a final. What a story. And the Tigers 2-3-15. Carlton 2-1-13 TAC scoreboard.
Brad, just a question on Chris Judd. He's missed a month of football. He obviously would have done training through that period, but how much does it affect a midfielder to have a month of no match practice?
Well, it affects the most enormously. Michael Voss, pretty much in his prime, missed a whole year of training. So he just only played on game day, and it even affected him at the end. And he's one of the all-time greats. Judd's in that category as well, so if anyone can handle it, he can.
4 lead changes already in this pulsating opening quarter at the MCG. There's been a lot of mistakes. Carlton from the restart. Robinson bangs it towards full forward. Warnock's down there again. Toe pokes another one around the corner. And this one, unlike his previous effort, just scrapes through for a behind. 11-16 SEN finals footy for James Bogues, Draft Batocki and Husqvarna. It's Richmond 2-3-15, Carlton 2-2-14.
Cochin 3 disposals, Curnow his shadow.
And Delidio in his 195th game and his first final. Beautiful kick from fullback has been marked by Big Ivan. Short passes to Pettard, who's at half back now for the Tigers. Slow build up out of defence. Another short pass to Martin. Spearing kick is superb to Morris. Absolutely superb. And now they're out the Tigers. Morris has found Rance, who goes for a run. 2 bounces. Wade can't catch him. His pass superb. Great play, Richmond. And Chrissy Newman's marked right on the 50.
How did you like the Martin kick, the bullet, the rocket-like kick across his body?
That kick and taking the Carlton defenders out and moving the ball quickly is why they're having a shot for goal. Move the ball quickly off half-back, generate good inside 50 ball.
Yep, you can't defend that.
This will bring the house down if Chris Newman can kick a goal from just outside 50, needs to bend back, won't be a goal. Richmond need a mark, they don't get it. It's knocked through for a behind.
Carlton have made the change with McInnes going to Edwards. Tui now playing much higher. Like the look of it playing on Edwards.
Walker to himself, 2-4 the Tigers, 2-2 the Blues. He takes it to the back pocket and then drives it out toward the centre wing. Good hands, good stretch by the Tigers. That was Delidio, refused to let the ball get past him. And they get the boundary line. They'll have a throw in between centre wing and half forward outer side of the ground. We're going nearly 21 minutes. SEN CompuStore clock, opening quarter action. The losers out of this one. Grigg gets it from the restart. Just a loopy handball to no one in particular. Everybody sits off the footy. Walker gets it eventually to Armfield. His kick is just a scrubber inside. Gives with a big spike only as far as Chaplin. Back to Delidio. Delidio to Rance. Measuring stuff. Chest on. Has a look to centre half forward. Good kick again from him. Gets to Grimes. Grimes to Martin. Really using Dustin Martin. His kick found Tuck and went straight through the veteran's hands. He would have been having a shot from 50 out directly in front. Garland in uncharacteristic territory. Gets the handball to Walker at fullback. Walker drives it out. They can't get any footy here, the Blues. They've been completely shut down. The Maginot line from the Tigers refusing to let it out. And another good 50-50 win for the Tigers. It'll be a ball up, outer side of the ground and potentially coming back in.
Dustin Martin, 6 kicks, 4 inside 50s. I'm surprised he's been given a free rein.
So boundary throw in on the wing. And Richmond will emerge again. Newman's got it now. Armfield can't grab him. Newman kicks inside 50. Pettit's the target close to the boundary line. Can Revolt keep it in? He does. Oh, he did some magic stuff there. Gets it to Edwards. Long shot at goal in the goal square. Is across the face, and Yaron can only thump it over the line. Well, that wasn't Yaron. That was Henderson indeed.
Yeah, 16-4 inside 50s. Richmond's favour, so it's been played in their half, but they haven't been able to capitalise on the scoreboard, just the 2 points in front.
So boundary throwing, can they manufacture something here? Cruiser reaches over the top. It allows Robinson first crack at it, comes to Tuck. Tuck's little kick is a dangerous one around the corner, but Yaron does it superbly, emerges from the congestion, boots it up towards the wing. They need a mark to wait. Rance is in the way. He wins it at ground level. They can reload through Marriage.
It looks inboard as they so often do to Tigers, and it finds Hawley, who is just sitting off there, being that outlet player, always happy to be used. He goes short to Delidio. He's racking them up, boys. What's he got for ERM?
He's got 5, Andy, and sitting off that half-back flank, and I think it keeps him a little bit fresh too for later in the game.
Vlosten marks just their side of centre wing. Careful kick in towards the pocket. Revolt the fly. McInnes with the fist at ground level. Jackson gathers it at 50. Has a look. Goes long and strong to the top of the square. 2-on-2. The big fist from Cruiser against Vicker. He goes through for another behind.
Brad learned his lesson then.
That's the one.
Punch behind.
2-5-17 Richmond, 2-2-14 Carlton. Been going 23 and a bit minutes opening quarter action.
Chris Judd, one disposal.
So he's not mucking around, goes long. Marriage, though, with the disciplined fist, knocks it away, but it's mopped up by Bell. How's the Bell kick? It's the knock on his game. He goes long. Yeah, well marked. It's a really good mark there, taken by Delidio, running the same way as the footy. So
Hooley's in the middle of the ground. They got about 4, Richmond.
Carlton have allowed them to have the corridor too often.
So this is familiar stuff. Richmond setting up from half back. They've got it once more. Hand pass comes to Martin now, who is off.
Oh, he's gone, Robinson.
2 bounces towards Martin, and then he kicks to half forward. Marked by Tui. Robinson coming straight off the ground.
What do you think of Hammy?
Yeah, Hammy gone.
So a Hammy each. Conker's off, and now Robinson's off. Oh, this is a Richmond play, but be careful. Boston lost control.
Free kick. Free kick against Betts.
Oh, they were on there. It was going to end in a Dygan goal. Might end up being 50 against Dygan.
I reckon it should be.
They can't hear the whistle.
No.
Hey, don't celebrate, boys. It ain't a goal.
They're still celebrating down there, the Carlton guys. They haven't heard a thing.
Is deafness a form of defence?
It's pretty loud down here, boys.
What's going on, Half?
Well, Mitch Robinson's gone down the race with the doc. Right hamstring is my early diagnosis of the issue there. Pulled up very quickly.
It is a 50-metre penalty. And I think the umpire thought that Dygan was trying to pull the wool over his eyes by playing on and kicking that goal about 8 seconds after the whistle blew.
It's a long 50.
He did his hamstring, Robinson, trying to catch Martin.
So Vlosten is just a little bit beyond him. He kicks to full forward. Oh, well marked. And the Blues are out. Judd's first real impact on the game. He takes it and goes. Kicks to half forward. Rance having a great game back there at half back. Beats his opponent once more. Hand pass to Delidio, and here they go again.
Delidio clever. That kick gave the Blues half a chance at it, but Tuck stood his ground as he always does in front of Warnock. And takes one. Gee, there's a bit of carnage standing in front of you, Half. They are significant injuries early in this game. Hawley goes sideways again.
But about even though, isn't it? Conker and Robinson both off.
Yeah, Chaplin to Ellis, Short to Newman. They've just moved it from one side of the MCG to the other. To the lead provided by Edwards in front of McGuinness.
Possessions 87 Tigers, 49 Carlton.
Scott, it's been a domination by Richmond. It really has. Carlton are hardly in the game. But the scoreboard tells you another tale. Edwards, Shane, top of the square, one-on-one contest. Cochin, he's handy here. In goes Henderson to lend Curnow a hand. Cochin got it at ground level. Gives it to Grimes in unfamiliar territory. The hopeful handball. King wanted it more than anybody else in the area. At ground level wrapped up. What's the umpire going to do here? Ball comes out. Betts has got Jackson. And the umpire says, give it to me, I'll ball it up.
I reckon Trent Cochin might be a little disappointed. He didn't take that mark.
Yep.
Gee, the ball came in flat and hard. Marriage to Tuck. Gets a quick kick. Walker, he's looked a bit iffy early in the game. Andrew Walker goes towards centre half back. Dangerous stuff here for the Blues. At ground level, Bell had a look at it. So did Simpson. Wrapped up. Got to be a free kick for Newman. It is.
That's a real win because Simpson's the playmaker off half back. Got that ball, took off. Newman threw himself from behind and just got the arms pinned, and nothing Cade Simpson could do.
Half, what's going on with down there with Robinson, because Menzel hasn't taken the vest off yet?
No, he hasn't. He's still down in the underground part here, Scotty, with the dock at the moment. So they'll be checking that out to see if they can keep him out there in some capacity, I would have thought. Mick's down here in the boundary line. He's already had a chat to Dan Menzel.
Don't know whether Newman's got this. He kicks from centre half forward directly in front. It's right to the line. Off hands. Hasn't gone through. Gee, Carlton hanging in somehow. They should be 5 down at this stage. Walker runs into a tackle. Wrapped up by Cochin. Close to a free kick for the Tigers. Not paid. Tuck's been industrious since he came onto the ground. Over like a man possessed. Can't get his hands on the footy. It ends up with Jackson. Jackson goes backwards. Cochin on the left boot. Around the body. Goal! That's the one they deserved, and that's the one the scoreboard wanted from a Richmond perspective. And they stretch it out to 9 points. 3-5-23 the Tigers, 2-2-14 the Blues.
Well, Number one at scoring from clearances, not a clearance end, but an in-close ball, Scotty. They were able to manufacture space for Cochin and a great snap.
Look, really impressed with Shane Edwards there. Contested ball win, absorbed the pressure, great handball to Dan Jackson. Jackson did the same, absorbed the pressure, got the handball off to Cochin, and just an absolutely elite finish on the left from Cochin.
Well, it was, Brad. The left foot hook kick was an absolute ripper. I was staggered when I was looking at the stats today to see that Cochin, that's just his 5th goal for the year.
Getting worse for the Blues, boys. Cruz has gone down the race now.
And the scoreboard's not a pretty sight, but they've got it here. Advantage paid to Gibbs. Gibbs shanks the kick a bit, and Ranson, Waite, Judd has it now. Blues inside 50. Probably needing a goal now, you reckon. Comes to Jackson, though. Richmond very, very determined, but Jackson's kick across the ground has gone out on the full, and it'll be a Blues free kick. McInnes.
Gloucester 9 disposals, Delidio 8 off half-back, Murphy and Tui both with 7.
So McInnes kicks inside 50 and it's knocked away from the intended target there in White. Rance doing a number on him at the moment. Boundary throw in, Blues just inside their attacking 50.
He's had a fantastic quarter, Rance. Not only defended well, but laid off at the right time and intercept marked.
Very close to quarter time here. Warnock in ruck wins it. Here's a chance for Murphy. Seconds go ticking away. Kicks to full forward and the siren beats them. Not through for a behind, but it does count. Gee, I don't know about that. Anyway, it counts. And that ends a gripping opening quarter of this elimination final. Massive, massive crowd. Be nearing 90,000, if not over it. And Richmond didn't have too many finals nerves there. They're 3-5-23. The Blues 2-3-15.
Well, an exciting start, wasn't it? Richmond, did they get enough value on the scoreboard for the amount of ball that they had? That's the question. Whilst they've got this handy 8-point lead, I reckon they'd be a little bit disappointed, Brad, that it's not 3 or 4 goals with the amount of ball that they had, the amount of inside 50s. And Carlton defended grandly there because they were under real pressure, but not much between the two teams. Sadly, it appears as if 2 players are already out of the contest.
After the break, we'll discuss the Trojan Hand Tools Player of the Day. Look at all of the ERM Business Energy stats. I think they're going to tell us a really interesting story. Plenty more on 11:16 SEN Footy with thanks to James Bogstra, proudly supporting local footy. Bataki, famous hams, bacon and salami, simply the best. And Husqvarna, made for professionals, powered by you. It's the Tigers by 8 points.
This quarter.
Away from the first bounce to start the second quarter with thanks to Brighton Toyota First with the feeling. Before we hear from Scotty Wolsey and the Midas analyst Brett Scott, let's head downstairs to Daniel Harpert for Coates Hire. It's been a big quarter half.
Very busy quarter, Andrew, and it's unbelievable what the carnage that's taken place just in this first quarter alone. Reece Conker, just to recap for Advice Line Injury Lawyers, Reece Conker snapped his left hamstring and was subbed out of the game at the 14-minute mark of the first quarter. Shane Tuck, the Subway sub, came in for the Tigers at that time. Then Mitch Robinson looked like he'd strained a right hamstring chasing Dustin Martin, as Wolsey called. Came off the ground, has just emerged from the little bunker underneath the interchange benches. I reckon he's had some chemical assistance to get back out there because he was running quite freely. Not sure how long that's going to last, by the way.
Can you just clarify that for us a bit? It's a bit of a dice. It's still too soon, half, I reckon.
Perhaps a painkiller.
Who prescribed it?
Of some sort. It was signed off by the AFL, they tell me. And the other one is Matty Cruiser came off late in the quarter, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was a mid-foot issue in his right foot. Was very uncomfortable, called for the doc straight away, went downstairs and hasn't emerged yet. So Cruiser is yet to be seen.
Okay, Wolsey and Scotty for Quick Fix Solutions, Business Rescue and Insolvency Solutions. Brad Scott here for Midas. Your thoughts, boys?
Well, look, it was the Tigers dominating all aspects of that game. They dominated possession. They won the footy around the ball. To be 14 up in contested possession is really just harder at the contest, and it was an area that we thought Carlton may have a slight advantage in, but as a result they generated inside 50s, 19-6. Only area they'd be disappointed with, and Brad made mention of the fact they missed a couple of goals by an inch or 6 inches. They could have a 4-goal lead if it wasn't for that.
Yeah, Martin's the one. He's the one who's looked really dangerous. Had 2 shots at goal from 50 that have just missed. If he converted those, would have been a long way back for Carlton.
All the numbers for ERM Business Energy suggest that Richmond should be dominating this game. I mean, 19-6 inside 50s, 98 possessions to 56 of the Blues. But the fact of the matter is, it's Richmond by 23-15, so nothing in it really. Warnock gets the kick around the corner first. Mark was dropped at half-back by Morris, who's really well tackled there by Waite. perhaps should have been given a free kick. Richmond get a break, and then Jackson releases Hooley, who kicks to half forward. Nothing there, and Henderson is all on his own at half-back, takes an easy mark.
Vickery completely took his eye off the ball and ran back towards goal.
Blues ball, Simpson and Murphy. Murphy to...
The problem was when Vickery turned around, he was 80 metres from the kicker, so I'm not sure how he expected the kicker to get it to him.
So Judd kicks to half forward, wait the target there, just a bit out of position, but mopped up by Gibbs to Dygan. But he's kicked around the corner's been marked here by Garland, and he can go back and kick a much-needed goal for the Blues.
Well, Jeffy Garland, one touch in the first quarter, needs this for his confidence, and you'd expect him to kick it. He's dead set in front. And he's kicked 41 goals this year. He's the leading Carlton goal kicker.
He's straight in front. He's a beautiful kick, as we know. In comes Jeff Garlett, and they don't like it behind the goal. Gee, that's a bad miss. The Blues 2-4-16, Richmond 3-5-23. Silver Top Taxi scoreboard, call 131008. So many taxis, why wait?
Second term for air conditioning warehouse sales. Shop where the trade shops. The Tigers bring it in. Go long and strong, outer side of the ground. Henderson was the last man standing and took an uncontested mark in the end as 3 or 4 fell over in front of him. His kick inside 50 is poor, and Chaplin was camped underneath it a long way out and again took it uncontested. The ball goes out towards Hawley. That was great effort by Betts, who didn't infringe, came with the flight of the ball. Hawley's over it, he's going to be pinged here. The umpire's all over this.
Should that have been a free kick in the marking contest?
Well, Betts came back with the flight of the ball, I suppose, with his eyes on the footy.
I would have thought prior opportunity has to come into play then, and I didn't see a prior opportunity for Basher Hawley to get rid of the ball.
Didn't appear to be much. There's movement downstairs with Daniel Harford for Coates High. We'll get down to you once this kick has sorted itself out. Half, I can see Matty Cruiser down there. So Betts will kick from right on 50, about a 65-degree angle. It's a tough kick for him. He's kicked plenty of these over the journey. It's drifting back, and it's home. Well, that is a decisive blow early in the second quarter. A lucky free kick for Betts. Carlton have had all the forward 50 work this term, and they opened the quarter with the first goal. 3-4-22 Carlton, 3-5-23 the Tigers. That is a Chisholm and game and goal of the day. Wherever you go, say hello. Half any movement as Matthew Cruiser comes back on.
Yeah, and he's still a bit proppy too, Radar, so we'll keep a close eye on him. I think there might have been some assistance for Matthew to get back out there as well. The doctor came up from the race just after the quarter-time break and said put the hand up with 5 minutes for the guy on the phone to Mick Malthouse. It's not quite 5 minutes, but they're keen to get him back out there. Robinson's also come back out. He's on the wing on Chris Newman. This is very interesting for the Blues.
And Chris Judd deep forward.
So Warnock wins it, but Martin grabs it for Richmond, hacks it to centre half forward, while Pettard tacks it really hard. Martin kept on going. Here he is, kicking to Vickery, who's marked, and that's probably going to be a Glenn Cameron group mark of the day.
Gee, it's nice composure by Martin, wasn't it? I thought he'd swing around 55 metres out and go bang for goal, but he just pulled the kick and put it out into space to enable Vickery to lead onto it.
Great matchup for Richmond, Scotty, to have Lockie Henderson, I think, close to their best key forward, playing virtually full back.
Yeah, and they've chosen to go with Jamison on Revolt. That's working for them at the moment. But Dustin Martin, almost his trademark to have that shot from 50. Great composure to hit up Vickery.
Vickery taking his time. 35 out. Good looking effort. He's the first multiple goal scorer of the afternoon. Richmond hit back straight away. And they're up to 4-5-29. The Blues 3-4-22. It's an exciting second quarter here on the Silver Top Taxi scoreboard. Call 131008. So many taxis, why wait?
Scotty, if Vickery gets on top of Henderson, that might be good for Carlton because Henderson can go forward.
Force him back to the forward line where he can be dominant.
You'll have Henderson in the forward line and maybe Waite go into defence.
Well, look, with going with Warnock and Cruiser, they've forced their hand a little bit in how they do manipulate their matchups because Cruiser needs to rest up forward with rotations and that, so it forces Henderson almost out. Certainly him or Waite have to play down back.
Tigers by 7, early stages, second term. Warnock comes over with the skewed bounce, gets a thump towards centre half forward. Armfield, quick kick in towards half forward. Rance again, stands his ground, taken high by Waite. Has to be a free kick for the Tiger key defender.
And just watching, boys, Matty Cruiser looks really proppy.
He does, doesn't he?
Well, keep an eye on that. Half reckons he might have a foot problem. That could be news beyond this game for Carlton. Might be news into 2014. Who knows? Bell from the quick kick gets a half smothered ball from Hawley. Goes short to Revolt at half-back flank. Searching handball to Vlosten. Vlosten through the middle, just a short ball to the lead provided by Pettit. All short stuff. He goes out wide, further still to Newman. Centre wing outer side of the ground.
Hang on. Simpson's put someone down in the middle of the ground. It's Rewalt.
Now,
it'll be a 50-metre penalty, so the ball will come from the wing to about 45 metres out from goal.
I had it in my glasses at the time. There was the slightest bit of contact in the middle of the ground. Jack played for it beautifully. The umpire saw it, and hence the free kick further afield.
It's got to be smarter than that, the umpires.
There's hardly anything
anything in it.
Newman needs to kick this. He had 2 shots in the first quarter that fell short. He kicked a long way back from the man on the mark, but certainly within distance here.
He'll get the coverage this time. He'll kick from inside 50. He's had a couple of siders. Stand by for the Richmond audience to go crazy if this goes through. Say no more. The Tigers are out to 13 points. Carlton kicked the first of the term, but Vickery and Newman have answered, and they bounce out to a 13-point lead. 5-5-35 the Tigers, 3-4-22 Carlton.
Just looking at Cruiser, as you pointed out, Scotty, he is proppy, and if it's the foot that's his takeoff foot, it's going to limit him in the ruck.
I reckon it's his right foot, Rob. I'm not sure if he's a right foot leap or left foot leap, but he looks like it's his right foot. He can't go a yard. And the other one's Robinson. He's going nowhere really quickly as well. So if I was playing on him, who's he got at the moment? It might be Vlosten at the moment. Gee, you'd be trying to attack off him.
Well, they're both playing forward too. Richmond look to have a strategy to just charge out of their back half whenever they win possession.
After 232 games, Chris Newman's kicked a goal on a final. Magical moment there. The Blues go forward, but in the way is Morris. They're scrapping for the footy, and the Tigers have a real sniff of it, this one. Murphy's little kick, though, chopped off by Grimes. He shovels it now to Grigg. Grigg to the wing. Aaron Edwards will get a free kick. He's caused problems all afternoon.
Boys, Heath Scotland, one of their key ball winners all year, just the one handball for ERM Business Energy, and playing at half forward in an unfamiliar role for him. He's been that player at half
50,
back.
Scotty. Another 50-metre penalty. It'll take Edwards inside 50.
But why?
Against Walker.
What did he do?
Yeah. Look, the umpires are certainly having an influence on this game. I'm not saying the decisions are not there, but
was it verbal?
It was physical. Walker just made contact with his opponent as the ball 50 metres off the footy. I mean, gee, absolutely nothing in it. I mean, he's tugged at the jumper ever so slightly, 50 metres off the ball. The umpires paid 50. Edwards has a shot from 30.
That's rubbish.
That's on the Chemist Warehouse replay. The Umps a bit trigger happy at the moment, and Blues fans justifiably upset. Aaron Edwards, gilt-edged chance. He's nailed the kick, and Richmond have gone bang, bang, bang. And now their lead is getting substantial. It's more a reflection of their play. Richmond 6-5-41. The Blues 3-4-22. They're starting to dominate the second quarter for Air Conditioning Warehouse sales. Shop with the trade shops.
Well, Heath Scotland just leaving the field, and he's having a very lean day at the moment.
And I've just been handed a note, and I won't say who from, but it says 4th umpire goal.
Well, the Tigers...
And it's a fair point. It's a final. You've got to take that into consideration. And the last 2 goals, 50-metre penalties that are really dubious, and I don't think are there.
Let them play. There's no tomorrow, there's no next week. Let them play, for goodness sake.
So Cruiser in the ruck, got a nice elevation into that contest against Vickery, so he can still get off the ground. But at ground level, the Tigers are really starting to roll now. Delidio gets it in towards half forward. Newman keeps the footy in front, attacked it like a man half his age, goes a little worm burner into the top of the square. Tuck runs onto it at ground level, tries to get it to Marriage. There's another whistle on play. Tuck's got a free kick, 20 out directly in front.
Yeah, and they played on and kicked the goal, Richmond, but it'll come back to Shane Tuck. I'll tell you what, that was a good effort by Newman out on the forward pocket, because it looked like it'd be a Simpson ball. And Mick Moldhouse can't believe that 3 free kicks in a row could be 3 goals in about 5 minutes.
That one was against Garlett. He went over the top of Tuck. It looked like it was probably there.
It's just lazy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Lazy attempt.
So Tuck really to start to stretch this out. Comes in from directly in front. It is raining goals here, and they're all yellow and black. And the Tigers are out to 25 points, 4 in a row. Hardly any opposition being offered by the Blues in this little stretch. Richmond 7-5-47, Carlton 3-4-22, 10.5 minutes gone, second quarter action on the SEN Silver Top Taxi scoreboard.
Well, just first of the footy, isn't it? I mean, that one was there. We've spoken about the others. We look at the Chemist Warehouse replay. Garlett, just a lazy tackle. Great attack on the footy by Tuck. Great play. Chris Newman, he was behind Simpson in that contest, but worked his way to the front and then kicked a ball into the corridor, a dangerous spot. The challenge is to defend.
Let's have a look at Cruiser in the ruck.
This is threatening to get really ugly now. Cruiser doesn't get to the contest. Vickery to Tuck. Tuck high, kick inside 50. Carlton better be careful here. Richmond could just win this game here right here and now. They're going forward again, and Ellis has got it for the Tigers. Off to Jack Revolt on his left side. Speculative kick to full forward. Edwards marks.
Well, there wasn't even a contest against him.
They're killing him now.
And I'm just trying to check who it was. That
Young
McGuinness.
Yeah. They don't have a match-up for him.
Well, they started with Tui. I think Walker had a crack. McGuinness has had him for the last 20 minutes. And you've just got to get a fist on it, an attempt to spoil at least.
Leading mark winner on the ground with 5 for ERM Business Energy.
Been enormous. Aaron Edwards. He's 20 out. Should kick another Richmond goal. In he comes off a step. Oh no, he's missed. Jeez. That was a bit casual. That's how he rolls, but he should have done better there. So Richmond, they're up to 7-6-48. Carlton hanging on here for grim life. 3-4-22. It's a 26-point game.
Massive problems for the Blues. They've got to try and generate something before half-time to get some belief back into this contest. The long kick from Tui went to Bell, but Tigers have just got the want and the desire at every contest at the moment. They've got the numbers as well as they try to get this one going forward. Simpson goes in over the top of Delidio. No free kick. Tiger fans 1-on-1 will get a ball up out of side of the ground. Half forward flank. And it's the Tigers by 26. And they are dominating Carlton at the moment. Robinson's still out there. Quick kick around the body. Yaron hardly sighted him. Gives it to Walker. He's been all over the place. Has it bounced through the middle of the ground. Goes about 20 metres backwards with the handball to Henderson. He's got a bit more space. Has a bounce. Runs through centre wing. Can he find somebody? Goes looking for Waite. Waite marks. Between half forward and the pocket. It was a beautiful kick from Henderson. And Waite was the only one who had a chance at that.
Bit of boldness by Walker, I like that. Came off half back, didn't bomb away, drew an opponent, got the handball out wide to Henderson.
So Waite will kick from about 45 out. He's already kicked one. This a more difficult attempt than his first, but Carlton badly need it. Comes in, stuttering approach, now smoothly into his action. It's a beautiful kick. The goal umpire doesn't move. It's a Chisholm and game and goal of the day contender. And it badly needed one, Brad Scott, thanks to Midas. They needed that badly.
They did, and it's extraordinary in a way to think that they're still in this contest. Only 20 points the difference. Carlton look very good in transition when they can flow the ball off half back. The problem is they've only done it 10 times. They've been inside 50 10 times for the game. They're on track for a record low.
They've kicked, though, 4 goals. They've got 8 scoring shots from 10 entries. If they can fix up their ball-winning ability around the contest and get numbers there, they get it forward enough, they can kick goals. That's the area Richmond have got to be aware of. But Carlton need to lift their work rate around the footy. They're getting smashed in contested ball 38 to 53.
Absolutely.
This second quarter for air conditioning warehouse sales. Richmond won't go forward here. Is that a throw? No, it's going to be a Tigers free kick to Cochin.
Against Warnock.
Okay.
Just had the 5 Cochin for ERM Business Energy. Kerno doing a great job again.
So Cochin goes to half forward. Martin's got a chance as the ball hits the ground. Oh, here he goes. Beautiful evasion and the wonderful finish. Dustin Martin, you are a star. And that is a Chisholm and game and goal of the day.
Well, the beauty about Martin is he wins one-on-one contests, and whilst Cochin put the ball out to him, it wasn't gift wrap. he had to use some body work against his opponent, and he was able to do that. He's just strong through the hips, able to just shrug off his opponent, turn back on the footy, and on the run from 40 metres out, put it through.
Wolsey and Scotty Lucas for quick fix solutions. Brad Scott, our Midas analyst, he's clearly the most decisive player on the ground at the moment, Brad.
Well, he's reflective of the contest at the moment. Winning contest. I mean, Carlton are just getting killed in the contest itself.
Back in the middle, the quick answer by the Tigers. Gibbs needs to get involved, so does Judd, who runs onto this. He's wrapped up straight away, gets it going forward. Murphy coming off half forward. Ball eludes him. Bell runs over the top of it. Murphy goes in again. Tigers just slap it forward. Jackson, Newman, brilliant handball. Ellis run through the Simpson tackle. Tuck wrapped up by Judd. Armfield, Tui. Dispossessed, play on. Should have been holding the ball. Kick's not far enough. Jamison wrapped up now by Ellis. This has got to be a ball up. The pack goes in. Bodies over the top.
Chris Newman hurt down there half.
Yeah, I reckon he's might have got a bit of a corky. Rob, I'll keep an eye on him. He's just coming off now for the Tigers.
Gee, it was desperate stuff from the Tigers. They just kept the ball going forward. Gibbs, the quick kick. It was a get away from me ball in towards centre half, in towards the centre wing position. Gee, going in hard was Dygan and Ellis straight over the top of him. Morris it was, I should say.
Morris.
It was physical stuff, centre wing position, bodies all over the ball, and we'll have a ball up.
They're trying to respond, the Blues. They're trying to respond, and Richmond are matching them at the moment, but Carlton definitely trying to mount a comeback around the ball here.
Richmond by 26 points in the second quarter for air conditioning warehouse sales. Here's Armfield mopping up out of the congestion, bangs it forward towards White. Maybe an opportunity for Bell, attacks it really well. Dygan to Curnow round the corner. Eddie or Garlett makes the contest of it, but he's surrounded. Then he goes and gets it again. Waits 15 out. If he grabs it, it'll be right. Garlett goes in. In they pile once more. 15 out from Carlton's goal. The ball's bobbing around all over the joint. Bell's got it. He's wrapped up. Comes towards Robinson. Murphy, they need a goal here. Won't be a goal. It'll be a Richmond mark with it in the square. No. Fumble. Ball dropped. The Blues hold it in. Frenetic stuff. There'll be a ball up in the goal square.
Having a real crack, Carlton, at the moment. Need a goal just to get themselves back in the hunt, but Richmond need to defend stoutly here.
Warnock just taps it straight to Morris. Bumped off the kick, comes to Armfield. Tui, inside out effort. Rebounds now towards Jamison. Jamison to Bell. Bell's tackled. High loopy hand pass. Yaron's there. Here's Robinson. 25 out. Gives it a go. Why not? Why not indeed? The Blues lifting. And they're up to 5-4-34. Richmond 8-6-54. They're hanging in, the Blues. They trail by 20 points on the Silvertop Taxi scoreboard.
It's just amazing, isn't it? Carlton 11 inside 50s for the game, and they've had 9 scores.
Tom Bell's having influence in this contest. 3 contested ball wins then, and we've spoken about it most of the game. That's what Carlton need to do. They had about 6 contested ball wins in a row. Tom Bell involved in 2 of them.
Well, of Tom Bell's 7 possessions, 5 are contested possessions for ERM Business Energy, and you get it in there, you're a chance to score against Richmond.
18.5 minutes gone, SEN comp, you still clock. Back in the middle, Warnock again reaches over the top, tries to get it back to Betts, who's having a run through the middle. Judd runs over the top of it. Robinson, who's clearly hampered. Cochin goes in over the top. 2 desperados. Cochin basically throws it out. The umpire says play on. Scotland under pressure. Handball to Curnow, doing his job again. Goes back with a slow handball to McGuinness. He gets it to Walker. Walker with a bit of time and poise. Down the line, needs a contest here. Not going to get it. Gloston fills the hole in front of Murphy. Takes the mark. She's a good young player, this fella. Coming up for possession number 11. A high ball towards centre half forward. Carlton got the numbers at ground level. Judd has a bit of time to look. He wants to go backwards. Got to be good here, Scotland. He's got a man on just over the top. That's Simpson. Finds him centre half back. Betts goes short. That's where it goes to. They peel off him. He's got a lot of time and space in front of him. Betts should draw the defenders. Runs through centre wing out of side. Puts it out in front of Garlett. Can't get there on the fly. Taps it forward to no one in particular. Rance has been good. Gets the footy defensive half back and then kicks it straight out of bounds on the full. It'll be coming back from the Blues.
Hit the next goal. They'll be right in this, Carlton. Remarkably still in the game. Heath Scotland trying to set things up now.
Yeah, a couple of touches to Scotland. That's good for his confidence.
He's, well, every game will be, could be his last. He's Scotland, kicks towards full forward, not much there for the Blues. Jay King on the crumb. Short pass is good to Pedder. Now they can try and run and gun from half back. Hooley now back to King. He's got a short pass on to Revolt, who's playing high. Vickery, one out. Oh, 50 I reckon, yeah. Jamison got in the way of the kick.
Gee, that's a tough call.
McGuinness went into the protected zone. And the worst thing that I feel for them, Brad, they put their hands up to say, I'm not here to do anything wrong. He was already in the play.
And Revolt had come off his line.
And had gone. Revolt nearly ran into him. I feel because players instinctively put their hands up, but the rule says as soon as you put your hands up, you get it against you.
The problem with the rule is that McInnes was already in the protected area when Revolt took the mark. He couldn't jump out of the area. All he tried to do was get out of there.
How does he get out? That's exactly right. Big kick this for Jack Revolt. 30 out, straight in front. Jack's on the board. So Richmond absorbing this little Carlton comeback. And they're up to 9,660. The Blues 5-4. 34. We'll give that. No, we won't give that a Chisholm.
You know what, boys? 4 of their last 5 goals, 3 of them have come from 50-metre penalties, and 1 has been a free kick. Makes it tough.
The rub of the green going the Tigers' way at the moment.
But do we think the scoreboard's about right?
Oh, look, if you look at the inside 50s, it's just amazing, isn't it, to think that it's 27-12. So Carlton's done well to kick 5 goals from just 12 inside 50 entries.
9-6 plays 5-4. The Tigers maintaining that 4 and a bit goal lead. Cruz is still out there. Drops it into the lap of Gibbs. Great mark by Judd. That's a Glenn Cameron group mark that they contend to the one-hander. Goes out looking for Curnow. Stands his ground. Jackson went in. Got an important hand in there for the Tigers. Bell needs to keep this in. Carlton had some numbers around the footy.
Good effort by Jackson there, Andy. He was 1 against 3 and caused the stoppage. That's a win.
It was 60 out. Carlton goal. Can they get the answer now? Richmond doing quick at getting those ones back from the Blues. Newman goes to Delidio. Oh, he was lined up by Robinson. Hit him fairly by the looks of it. We'll wait for the replay. Grimes can't get it. Pretty nervy stuff from Grimes. Takes the ball out of bounds, throwing about 30 out.
Should he have tackled him though?
Could have done some damage here, Robinson, with the pretty vigorous bump. He got him fair. There was certainly no contact high. Delidio fine. Still inside Carlton to Gibbs. Can he get something going? Goes to Tui. Has a habit of kicking these. Not this time. Top of the square, cross the face, out of bounds, ball in. So just a little lull. Been going 23 minutes, second quarter.
Rewalt spending most of his time as a high half forward. Vickery has been the deepest forward. A plan to make Jamison play deep and take Henderson out of it.
Numbers everywhere. Rance, Cochin over the footy, wrapped up by Robinson, not coming out. Umpire will ball it up. 20 out from the Carlton goal.
Simpson are free behind the football, so we've got all but 5 players inside the Richmond defensive 50.
Can the Blues manufacture a goal here? No, they won't. It's knocked over the line. There'll be a boundary throw, and they're only 15 metres out from their goal. They're kicking to the city end of a packed MCG, trailing by 26 points deep into the second quarter. So Cruiser reaches over the top, but straight to Grigg. Grigg releasing kick, bit of a dangerous one here for the Tigers. It's at centre half forward. Important ball to be won. Newman did win it, but his hand pass didn't hit the target. Allows Jamison the chance to get in there, and there'll be a ball up. All Richmond at the moment. The Blues just hanging on as we go past 24 minutes on the CompuStore clock. Up goes the footy. One by Cruiser, who's playing hurt, but doing a job for his side to keep the numbers in their favour, if you like, with Conker subbed off and Tuck coming on. Richmond emerge with the footy. Here's Jackson. Oh, he summed that up beautifully. The dangerous Martin has it now. Edwards, that's Shane Edwards to Cochin. And Jack Revolt's got it again, playing in that high forward role. Goes to Tuck, who marks. They're all over them here. Martin to Hooley. Hooley's 60 out, launches long. In the goal square, can they get a mark? No. Goes over the top there of Aaron Edwards, Sean Grigg, and it's through for a behind to Richmond, who lead by 27 points.
Short ball into Murphy, 11-16 SEN finals footy for James, Bogstra, Patocki and Husqvarna. Murphy just pokes it short to McGuinness, who's had a tough day, really tough day, the late inclusion. 1 of 2 for the Blues. with Casbolt and McLean not taking their place in the selected side. Long and strong towards centre wing position. Tigers have been the masters in this part of the game. This one's not coming out, and we'll have a ball in between centre wing and half forward, outer side of the MCG.
Hurley, Martin, Delidio have lost an all with 11 disposals. Murphy with 13.
Wolsey for quick fix solutions. Whistle on play at the ball up, and the free kick goes to Cruiser. What can he do with it? He goes down the line and kicks it straight down the throat of a couple of Tigers. One of them was Chaplin, he missed it. Rands couldn't do anything with it. Now they're a chance, the Blues. Gibbs, toe pokes it to Bell. The turnover, they've got to make something happen. Curnow, can he find someone? Shocking kick off the boot. Into the path of Betts, all alone in the pocket. Can he find somebody square onto goal? He can. Dygan.
Well, Dygan's playing as a negative half forward on Delidio, but good play there by Eddie Betts to square it up from the boundary line.
Yeah, completely turned Dylan Grimes, but really costly drop mark from Chaplin. I mean, Cruiser's kick down the line went straight to him, just slipped through the fingers. Carlton have capitalised.
Yet to kick a goal this year from limited opportunities. Has kicked goals on this ground in the past when used forward. He'll kick from 25 out, as good as directly in front. For Carlton's sake, he needs it, and for Carlton's sake, he's got it. So they just hang in there, the Blues. Richmond have been by far the dominant side, but they only lead by 21 points. Richmond 9-7-61, Carlton 6-4-40, 26 and a half gone. Second quarter action thanks to air conditioning warehouse sales.
Well, much needed goal, and it was just as Brad said, a drop mark by Chaplin if you give the opposition a chance, and it was a long kick down the line by Cruiser, just his second kick, and we saw Garlett in the picture on the Chemist Warehouse replay, just the 2 possessions for him, so they've got some players that they can get a lift from. Waits kicked 2 goals but just 3 kicks, so there's plenty of room for improvement for Carlton. They need to get their hands dirty though.
They've kicked 6 goals, 4, and they've gone inside 50 just 15 times. 10 of 15 entries they've scored. They might get another one here. Bell's doing very well. Kicks to full forward to Waite. Knocked away from him. He's tackled. Outstanding. Should have been rewarded. Oh, they're stiff there. The Blues still alive though. Dygan grabs it. He just belts it forward. The Blues getting an appetite for this. Waite, good tackle again. Still inside 50 for Carlton. Richmond hanging on in this passage. And they're getting a free kick at half back.
How is that not a free kick against Rance?
Well, we look at the Chemist Warehouse replay.
Should have been.
Had Pryor tackled, just let the ball go. I just don't know how you can miss that free kick.
Here we go.
Directly in front of the umpire.
Jack's just saying we're going to slow everything down, boys.
Down in the goal square, it's on, behind the behind post. Eddie Betts is having a fair dinkum go with Dylan Grimes.
Good stuff.
Did you see it, Huff?
Just a bit of push and shove. It's good for footy.
You know what? They'll go into half-time, Carlton, and I think the one aspect they'll take out of it, if we can get the ball in, one-on-one defensively, Richmond aren't that great.
No, they're vulnerable, aren't
they? They are really vulnerable with quick entries. The challenge is whether Carlton around the ball can win their fair share. They've got some players that can lift, but they're not out of it.
So well here, Carlton. Just come up one-on-one all over the ground, force Richmond to kick to a contest.
So the momentum of if you're just trying to hang on to the footy with a couple of minutes to go,
it's a worry.
Half time, it's dangerous.
If Carlton can get another goal, there's 2.5 minutes before the siren. If Carlton can get another goal, absolutely game on. And looks like Richmond are playing slow footy at the moment.
Vickery gets into Warnock's back, no free kick. Judd bursts from the clearance anyway, gets it to Betts.
And that's the matchup.
That's a worry.
Grimes has nor the agility or the speed to go with Eddie Betts on the lead. If they can open up their forward line, it is a great matchup for Carlton.
Good play by Judd.
It was a great hit, wasn't it?
Accelerated from the contest and lifted his head and saw Eddie leading to the pocket and put it down his throat.
Well, it's right up his alley here, Eddie Betts. And interested parties, whether they be North Melbourne or Adelaide, would like to think that Eddie Betts might be kicking these goals for them next year. Can he kick it for Carlton now? They badly need it. 25-30 out. Looks like he's pushed it across the face, all the way across the face, and it just goes through for a behind.
It's not kicking through the footy. That's 2 shots per goal, and he's got the lob wedge out.
9-7-61 Tigers, 6-5-41 the Blues. 29 and a half minutes gone. All latter stages of the second term.
Richmond need to forget about this keeping off stuff and play out the quarter. Delidio goes long. Shane Edwards there just sees it over the line. It's still at half forward for the Blues. Couple of minutes.
Couple of key stats that will give Carlton confidence going into the third quarter. Clearances 13-8, inside 50s 11-9, contested possession 33-29. So some key stats for ERM Business Energy. They've won this quarter.
Working their way back into it. Vickery to Grigg, and their intensity has lifted. Another good Carlton tackle
and boys,
as well.
It's 6 goals 2 to 4 goals 2 for the quarter, but as we've mentioned, 3 50-metre penalties and a free kick. So Carlton have had a very good quarter of football.
Vickery's going to get a free kick.
Richmond have made the change. Morris back to Betts in the goal square.
Yeah, I know, that's long overdue, Half.
So Vickery short pass, that works okay. Newman's got it at centre-half back. They peel off him, he can go if he wants. They're just intent on this possession stuff. Short passes okay to Ellis.
Do coaches stew over making a change, or is it got to be instant?
Look, it's easy to say from here. I mean, we can see the matchup. Damien Harvey can definitely see it, but it's the flow-on effect that's the concern. Who does he move Grimes to?
Is there,
Who's Morris playing on at the time? So there's always a flow-on effect. The obvious matchup needs a change, but it's what happens to the rest of your team.
So Richmond just playing possession football, a chain of short passes ends up with Jackson on the wing. So Jackson finally goes to long to a contest. Revolt couldn't mark. Tuck's got it dragged off it. Carlton will emerge and they'll have some time to pinch another one before half time. Could be a real momentum changer. Oh, good tackle on Curnow, but he got the hand pass away to Bell. Bell's wrapped up, goes to 360. Big ball this for Richmond. It's Richmond's turn to attack. Tuck's now got it, kicks inside 50. Cochin!
Gee, that's a killer. 17 seconds left on the clock. And Carlton thrusting forward. Who was it who got caught up?
Tom Bell.
Bell. No awareness, was it?
No, he had someone coming in on his right-hand shoulder, and he just had to give it straight. He actually looked at Grigg. He should have seen him.
Well, Trent Cochin, this is a big moment for you and your footy club.
This is a captain's kick, Rob.
It is indeed. 40 out. Should kick it really. He's not a goal kicker, though. He's a champ in the making, and he stands up big time there. Two to Cochin. They go to him. They get around him. And that's a massive moment in a final. Richmond will take a 26-point lead in the half-time. The Tigers 10-7-67. Carlton 6-5-41. Yep, the Tigers lead by 26.
We look at the Chemist Warehouse replay. Chris Judge just gone over to Tom Bell, and I'm sure he's just saying, take the game on. You've had a good quarter of football. Forget about that. But in the context of the game, it was a very pivotal moment, wasn't it?
Just on the knife edge, that final moment, Carlton bursting, they kick the goal.
It's a Bell,
suddenly, who knows?
It's a Bell release handball or kick long inside to Eddie Betts, who's had a good quarter. Instead, it's ball going the other way. Pettard to Tuck to Cochin, and a fantastic goal and a smart play by Cochin to go forward. He's done a good job on him as Curnow, but that's 10 possession for Cochin. More importantly, for a midfielder, 2 goals.
Brett Scott, coach of the Kangaroos, our Midas analyst, trusty auto service expert. Just before the break, it's about where, in general, flow of play it kind of should be, do you reckon?
Yeah, it feels like about a 26-point lead. I mean, that's about what it should be. Richmond have certainly dominated play. And really, the most telling statistic throughout this half, we've talked about it ad nauseum, has been the contested possession count. Now, Tom Bell made a critical error there, a bit of a lack of awareness. He still stood up in the tackle, just couldn't quite dispose of it. But he's been really important for Carlton. Really been struggling in the contested possession area. Tom Bell, Mitch Robertson's tried to assert himself on the game, and that's really where they need to get back in the contest, because they are scoring. I mean, the amazing statistic in this is they've gone inside 50 17 times and they've scored 11 times. Yeah. I mean, every time they go forward, they look like they're going to score. So Mick, I'm sure, is in there at half-time now saying we've got to address this contested possession area. If we can get our hands on the footy, we can score when we go forward.
Coming up, the Telstra Retail Stores half-time break, 9429 11:16. People already jumping on the line to have their say. Wolsey will have the top 5 players of the Trojan Hand Tools Player of the Day. Scotty is in charge of the bottom 5 players who need to lift in the second half. We'll hear more from the Midas analyst Brad Scott, as well as all the ERM Business Energy stats on 11:16 SEN Footy, with thanks to James Bogstra, Patocki and
with Fox Footy. Call Foxtel on 131 787.
Not far away from the first bounce to start the second half, with thanks to Brighton Toyota First. They are first with the feeling. Both sides are back out. Still no movement on the Carlton bench in terms of activating the subs. So whatever injury concerns were sustained by Mitch Robinson and Matthew Cruiser in that first half, Daniel Harford, don't seem to be serious enough to have either of them withdrawn from the game so far.
It's been a very interesting play by the Blues. I reckon it's clearly just to keep another man out there and see what they can do. And we saw Mitch Robinson in that second quarter kick a goal, a really important goal for the Blues, despite being hampered with that hamstring injury. So it's worked out okay for the Blues so far. I'd be surprised if he lasted the game. He'll get subbed out, I think, for Troy Menzel.
Do you see a way back in for them, Half?
Yeah, I do. Look, they've got enough ball winners around the ground. They're just getting beaten to it. And you guys have analysed it really well, I think. And from ground level, it's been a ferocious contest. But you actually got to start to win the footy, and that's the key for Carlton in this quarter. If they can do that, we've seen how efficient they are when they get the ball inside their arc, but they've got to do it because otherwise they'll get beaten on the spread, which Richmond have done so beautifully in this first half of footy.
Daniel Harford for Coates Hire. They're seeing key matchups for Toyota Material Handling, Australia's number one for forklift hire. Andrew McGuinness coming to the bench to start the second half, so they're going to be doing something different in the second half on Aaron Edwards, which you reckon they probably had to?
Yeah, he's been a bit of the X factor. Richmond have chosen to play Revolt really high. That's worked for them. Vickery and Edwards have looked dangerous. And the one that's a bit of a surprise and it's working really well for Richmond's been Pettit. Ricky Pettit's been playing as a defensive forward, whether he's been taking, doesn't matter whether it's Simpson, whether it's Tui, whoever he gets, he pulls them right back to the goal square. And as we speak, Chris Yarran's starting in defence for Carlton.
Yes, Yarran in defence with Simpson, and it's Lockie Henderson down there with Jamison, which means Waite continues in the forward line. Also Cruiser, and means Warnock will do the ruck work.
And Judd out of the centre square. He's starting on the centre square line as a high half forward.
He's done a bit of that, hasn't he? He hasn't been in at all the centre bounces, mainly relying on Murphy and Gibbs.
With Curnow on Cochin, so that's their makeup. Warnock in the ruck.
Richmond have had a lot more of the ball. They've gone inside 50 a lot more, and they lead by 26 points. And away we go in the third quarter. This is theirs for the taking. And Dustin Martin at first crack at it, smothered, rebounds to Jackson, who builds it about 25 metres forward. Difficult bouncing ball here for Tui. Well tackled by Vickery. Vickery's not letting him go. He does well, the big fella, to hold it in.
Jeez, vicious tackle, wasn't it? Or a strong bear hug on Tui. He just slammed him into the deck. Walker now playing on Edwards, the dangerous Edwards.
Jackson with momentum, but he ran into a bit of a brick wall. Martin over the footy, somehow gets it out, but his kick is taken here by Heath Scotland. Does Cade Simpson. Simpson hand pass towards Henderson. Short pass is spot on, and Chris Judd has marked it half back. So Blues just need to start winning more contests, getting their hands on the footy a bit more, and you never know. Once they've gone inside 50, they have converted. Judd's kick up the line is knocked over the boundary line by Grimes in front of the interchange benches, and there'll be a ball in.
It's quarter for Foxtel. Make sure you see your team live every round with no ad breaks, siren to siren in HD on Foxtel. Marriage and Warnock. Give it just to Warnock, gets it to Gibbs. The ball goes to half forward. Bounces no good for Dygan. Waite came third or fourth in line. Gets slung in the tackle, swung around, gets it to Robinson. He just gets it out, moving Carlton's way against Scotland. Again, just trying to get it to Gibbs, but just couldn't quite get clean enough possession, Carlton, at any stage there, and the ball goes out of bounds in between centre wing and half forward. Carlton just moving it forward.
Daniel Jackson really locking on to Mark Murphy now.
Blues really need most of the opening goals in this quarter if they're going to force a contest here. Murphy wrapped up straight away by a couple of Tigers. Marriage gets it from Ellis. Couldn't get tackled by a couple of Blues. Warnock filthy did, who let him through. Delidio to Pettard, short ball, Vickery to Ellis, runs through the Henderson tackle. Edwards back to Vickery top of the square. Jakey King's running onto the flight of the ball. Bounce, pitches 10 metres out, free kick, someone.
It's going to be a Richmond free.
They've got it.
I think Edwards will take it. And
Hold against Walker.
Andrew Walker's looking at the umpire and saying, "You're kidding."
It was there.
So Brad Scott, the Midas analyst, saying it was there. He's got hold of the arm, Walker. Just made it easy for the umpire.
Well, the Chemist Warehouse replay gives it away, doesn't it? And that's a costly one, and surely Edwards isn't going to miss this shot at goal.
Not possible, Wolves. He's kicked 1-2. He's been really damaging and lively from the start of the game, and he comes in from 10 metres out directly in front and puts it through. To start the third quarter, And they draw it out to a match-high 32-point lead. Richmond 11-7-73. Carlton 6-5-41. We're going 2 3/4 minutes. Third quarter on the SEN Repco Trade scoreboard.
Quick ball movement. Get defenders out the back, and they take their eyes off the ball and they panic. It's the key component that they've got to be wary of, and Aaron Edwards a beneficiary, and about his 4th opponent today, so he's been the headache matchup for the Carlton backs.
ERM Business Energy, Richmond 31 inside 50s, Carlton 17.
Pettard taking Simpson back to that last line of defence for Carlton, and that doesn't suit the Blues. They need Simpson attacking off half-back.
So the Blues in familiar territory, that we're sort of near where they were a week ago against Port Adelaide. Jarred, almost free kick there, but nothing doing. Boston tries to extract it out. Blues are going to get a free kick, and it's going to Mark Murphy. So Murphy in the middle. Doesn't go aggressively, just swings a little one towards Scotland to create some space. Pulls the kick, no good. Target was Dygan there, but Judd's got it now. Here's Henderson, or Bell, I beg your pardon, around the corner. Can Waite mark it? He's got it now. Can he get free? No. Another great Richmond defensive tackle. Blues emerge. Cruiser, left foot snap. Overcooks it. And Morris is back there, not taking any chances. Thumps it over the line for a behind. Repco Trade scoreboard, more parts for more cars. It's Carlton by 31 points.
Just watching the Chemist Warehouse replay of the kick of Heath Scotland. Just needed to lower his eyes and pick up McGuinness. Deledio too easy for him to spoil.
Marriage at the spillage. Shane Edwards' handball goes back in towards the corridor. Simpson gets it. Kick smothered from Warnock. Cochin, Marriage, Jackson, good clean hands, drilling ball down towards Edwards at centre wing. That's Shane, Aaron, and he's taken over the boundary line by Walker in front of the interchange gates. So status quo continued here at the start of the third quarter. The Blues would have been looking to make some early inroads, but the early free kick against Walker to Edwards has seen Richmond stretch it out to a 5.5 goal lead. Curnow goes over the top of Ellis, no free kick. Clever kick from Gibbs inside 50. Gives way to run at it. Ground level. Ball not taken by Deledio. Gives Judd a look at it. The handball is sloppy from the champ. Deledio can't take it. Judd body lines the footy. Great gather. Gives it to Armfield. Armfield tries to find Waite. Can't get clean possession. The bouncing ball. Cochin can. Goes in. Works about 30 metres for his team. Wrapped up in the tackle is Vickery. Umpire says play on. Latitude given to players all over the place here. It's not coming out, and he's going to ping someone now.
That is ridiculous.
How can that be holding the ball against Revolt?
That is ridiculous, umpire.
Oh, they've lost their mind with this a little bit, umpires. Judd's got the free kick. That's a joke. A man who's never played footy makes a decision like that. Judd goes to the top of the square, sets it up high. Carlton have got no one there. At ground level, Betts had half a sniff. Cruiser goes in over the top. Robinson fighting hard. So is Toohey. In fact, it's Toohey over the top.
Andy, don't get personal. You're better than that.
Oh, Woolsey, it was a shocking decision.
The umpire was actually blindsided. I mean, he guessed.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the rules committee are making it so hard for umpires. They want them to pay those decisions, but he just guessed.
Carlton 25 out from their goal. Robinson's got it now. Swings around the corner. Oh, he swung it too wide. Opportunity for Bloston. He keeps it in. He hacks it out. Dangerous kick because Yaron's got it 55 out. We know how good he is a user, but his kick was smothered. Bloston really hard at it. Gave it to Martin. Blues intensity lifting though. Martin goes and gets it again. Creates some space where there was none. And now they're off and running. Magnificent footy. Hooley, look at him go. 3 bounces. Hooley kicks towards full forward. In front of the pack. Scotland's back there. He controlled it a little well. Caressed it to Walker. And Walker now goes for a trot in the back pocket.
Oh, Robert was going to be one of the great goals of the game to call. Unfortunately, didn't come off.
Disappointing.
It was. Dygan gets the footy on the outer side and then kicks it out of bounds. Oh, no, it just pitches inside. It was a poor kick from Dygan who looked for Gibbs. He couldn't find him. Outer side of the ground, centre wing position. Throw in. Carlton must kick a goal or two now if they'd have any hope. Gibbs from the restart. 2 Tigers gave it straight to him. Murphy has 1 bounce, has a second, has a third, runs to half forward, trying to size it up, goes into the top of the square. Carlton have got numbers everywhere. White should have taken the mark for the free kick against Cochin.
And all of this happened with that really bad boundary throw in. Two Richmond players went for the hit out and they hit it straight down the throat of Gibbs. It was Tuck and Vickery. Poor communication.
It was. And weight was infringed as Cochin came back with a fly to the ball. Umpire deemed he had no eyes on the footy, even though he looked to have eyes on the footy the whole way.
Front on contact.
Front on contact, yeah. There was enough of
but
that.
But fantastic courage by Cochin to go back with the fly to the ball.
Cannot question his desperation. He's really lifting in this game, Cochin.
He's kicked 2 weight. He must kick this from 20 metres out, directly in front. Cannot make a mistake. Does not make a mistake. Third quarter for Foxtel. SEN Repco Trade scoreboard. Waite's got 3. And just keeps Carlton in touch. 11-7, 73 the Tigers, 7-6, 48 the Blues.
You described it well, Rob. Just the tap out of Vickery and tucked right down Gibbs. It was the reason why the ball went inside forward 50. Poor communication with their fellow midfielders to know where the hit zone was.
That being said, Murphy and Gibbs are having a massive impact on this contest. This third quarter, they've really lifted. Judd's in the middle
lifted.
Now.
He had 2 by quarter time. He's up to 14 now. Murphy 16, Gibbs 14. It's been their 3 key midfielders that are really lifting, and a high ratio of contested possession, 7 to Murphy, 10 to Judd and 10 to Gibbs.
This quarter for Foxtel, make sure you see your team live every round with no ad break, siren to siren on HD. And
Judd again.
Here go the Blues, courtesy of Judd. Kick to half forward. Dygan's got it now. Out in front of Garlett. 2 in a row. This will give the Blues a lift. Oh, they might be back, you know.
Garlett and Judd again.
2 in a row for Carlton. They're as close as they've been for a while. They're 8-6-54. Richmond 11-7, 73. That's on the Repco Trade scoreboard. More parts for more cars. That's got to be a Chisholm game and goal of the day.
If we look at the third quarter, Martin and Ellis have got 3 for Richmond. They're the leaders. Judd's got 6. Next best for Carlton is 3. So it's been Judd's quarter. 5 contested possession, 2 inside 50. So he's just lifted, as all champions do when their team needs the most.
But that was just classic Judd. Tackled by 2 players, stood up in the tackle, absorbed the pressure, kicked the footy forward, goal to Garlett.
He's in the middle again.
Haven't been this close since the 8-minute mark of the second quarter. The Blues, can they get another one? Judd gets it from Gibbs. Judd bangs them forward. Terrific mark being taken down there by Shane Edwards. Aaron Edwards.
So Richmond have thrown him behind the ball just to slow things down.
Damien Hardwick's done this a bit throughout the year. Just put Aaron Edwards behind the ball as a spare man in defence.
Yeah, and Rewalt also in the back half. And now if they start playing this slow football...
That's a win for Carlton, isn't it?
Yeah, they'll get themselves into trouble.
Yep.
So they just possess across half-back. Rewalt to Cochin. The short ball was very short.
It's hard to do this against Carlton because they're a very one-on-one side. They'll close Richmond down really quickly. Richmond have been practicing this for about 6 weeks now. Carlton shut them down one-on-one.
So Grimes eventually forced to go long. Carlton had the numbers there. Warnock and Tui were up against Tuck, and off hands it goes out of bounds. Centre wing position out of side. SEN Repco Trade scoreboard 11-7-73 the Tigers, 8-6-54 the Blues.
Boundary throwing on the wing. Southern stand side Vickery, or Southern stand side Vickery loses it. Gibbs has got it now, lifting the Blues. 19 points they trail by. Comes to McInnes, gets it to Garlett. Hand pass over the top, no good. Slap back towards Cochin. It gets past him, but he's got it now. Then he sort of went into the traffic a bit, and Gibbs pinched it off him. Kicks to Judd. 70 out. Jubbs goes inside 50. Dygan. He's marked it. Oh, that's a Glenn Cameron Group mark of the day. Dygan having an impact like he did against Collingwood last year.
That's a really good mark because he was running backwards under pressure, had someone locked onto his arm, and he was still able to hook it in with just one arm onto the chest.
But again, Gibbs to Judd. Judd kicks it in. Dygan's doing the job defensively this quarter on Deledio. So really important kick now for Dygan to convert.
Can he deliver? He hasn't played much this year. He lays back. He might be the man. How about that? He's kicked a goal, and the Blues are within 13 points.
I told you, Andy, get Dygan in this team.
Golly.
I tell you what, it might be time to release Deledio to the midfield.
He's coming from the ground, Wolsey.
Yeah, Dygan comes with him. Really interesting to watch the Richmond runner now. I suggest Daniel Jackson will be switching from Murphy to Judd pretty quickly.
Just his 4th match this year.
Yep. Now, they were reluctant to play him. He played the first game of the year and then spent about 19 or 20 weeks in the twos. And they're back to 13 points, 3 goals in a row to Carlton. Judd has been pivotal to this little rally in the third quarter. He's in the middle again. Curnow, Judd sniffing for the footy to come out. Marriage goes in over the top, doesn't want to let it out. And it's not going to come out. Ball does eventually, but the umpire says, I'll ball it up.
Aaron Edwards has dropped back behind the footy, hand up now to the coach's box. But what this has done for Carlton is freed up Zach Tui off half-back.
Cochin, the quick clearance to centre half forward for the Tigers. Bounces inside forward 50. Henderson in front of Vickery. Gets the footy. Puts it out in front of Scotland. Needs a bounce in front of Grigg. Gets it. Decides to play down the line. He does. Can White get there? No, can't take the mark. Got a lot of purchase on it. Spilled it. Murphy sees the ball out of bounds. Suddenly momentum's we're in navy blue here.
And Edwards is heading back to the forward line. Judd 8 for the quarter, Gibbs 6. Next player on the ground 3 for ERM Business Energy. It is Judd and Gibbs.
They've been massive, Scotty. Those stats bear it out. Chaplin, quick kick around the body. Murphy's over it. So is Marriage. Pettard goes around about 3 or 4, then just a hit and hope handball. Simpson had a look at it. Marriage to Cochin, measures a kick down the line. Edwards, Tui, did well Tui, couldn't let it get beyond him, and he did, and we'll have another ball in out of side of the ground.
The Blues within 13. The margin got out to 32 at one stage, but 3 in a row to Carlton has renewed their hopes. Big ball this on the wing after the boundary throw in. Don't think it's going to come out. Martin with a vice-like tackle. And there'll be a ball up.
And boys, it's 15 scoring shots from 25 entries. They go in, they score. 3 goals from 8 entries in this quarter for ERM Business Energy.
They go in, they score. Nothing through has been set today. Cochin, it's a free kick towards Robinson, who's been playing hurt, but he's gamely playing on. Gets it to Simpson. Simpson towards Judd. He'll get there on the bounce. He fumbles a little bit. Grimes does really well. Takes it away from him. Grimes and heading for the boundary line. Doesn't get there though. Judd goes again. Second effort superb. Walker has it now. Short pass to McInnes. Blues everywhere. He hand passes to Bell. Bell will give it to Kinchin-Singh. Launches. Eddie Betts. Oh, Waite. Waite's marked right on the line. Glenn Cameron group mark of the day. He doesn't go for the goal to Gibbs, who doesn't mark. Here's Scotland. 25 out. Another. Oh, the Blues are on a roll now. 10-6, 66 Carlton. Richmond 11-7, 73. It's happened. Richmond tightening up. The Blues coming at them. And that was a Chisholm and Gaiman goal of the day.
Bryce Gibbs and Jared Waite come to the bench. They have been absolutely enormous for Carlton this quarter. I can't overestimate Bryce Gibbs' importance.
Massive.
I mean, it has been absolutely critical. Judd, we know, but Bryce Gibbs has been massive.
Gibbs has had 18 possessions, 14 contested. I'd suggest he's never had that ratio of hard ball, and it's been superb. 13-7 centre clearances in favour of Carlton. That's where it's beginning.
Third quarter action thanks to Foxtel. You have to be enjoying it. Murphy getting involved. Curnow out to Simpson. The Blues are really rolling. Where's this come from? Armfield, we haven't seen him. Goes into the top of the square. Beats! Free kick. Mark, pay what you like. He's got it.
He took his eyes off the ball, did Morris, and from that point on he was lost. Eddie Betts kept his eyes on it.
Now Betts can kick this. He's looking around. The eyes are darting all over the place.
Check side.
This is an easy one for Eddie.
He's going to come in and kick the left footer by the looks of it. Around the body he goes. Around the body he goes. The Blues are within a point. Unbelievable stuff here at the MCG. 11-7, 73 Richmond stagnating. Carlton 11-6, 72. Betts has got his second, and this, boys, is game on.
Some of those Richmond supporters, Andy, down that end where all the goals are being scored.
Wow.
They've broken down. They're in tears.
Well, how's it happen? Other than a couple of individuals who have really upped the ante, how's this happened?
One of the real worries for Richmond at the moment is Dylan Grimes. He doesn't have an opponent. He's been picking up Betts, a little bit of Yaron. Now he's trying to go to Robinson. But this is why they got Troy Chaplin to the club. He rallied the defence there and get him back on track.
5 in a row to the Blues. Everything's getting tough for Richmond now, but Cochin has it. He belts it forward. Richmond need a goal. The Blues within a point, and is that going to be delivered out of bounds? No, Jakey King's screaming for it. He's not going to get it.
Grimes coming to the bench now.
Gee, the runners out there for both teams working overtime.
17 minutes gone on the CompU store clock, third quarter. This could be a gripping elimination final. Enormous crowd. Hooley's got it for the Tigers. Delidio now has to kick hurriedly into the forward pocket. Tui's Simpson well placed. Richmond with the footy in the pocket. They've got it now. King to Jackson. Jackson close to the boundary line. He rewalks back. Was he over or in?
Out.
He was over the line, out of bounds on the full.
I'll tell you what, a couple of decisions here or there as well. Umpires are getting on board as well.
Often it's the one to get back in front that is the hardest one to get, isn't it? And the Tigers hanging on grimly by a point here.
Here in Business Energy, inside 50's tightened up, 27 to 34.
Henderson gets it from Murphy down the line to Simpson and needs to get there. He stood his ground.
Yeah, it was a great
it's a Glenn Cameron Group mark of the day contender from the slight blue. He goes down the line. He's got Betts. Going back with the fly to the ball was Jackson. That is brilliant. He's hurt his knee. Daniel Harford right in front of you. Keep an eye on the Tiger veteran.
He's hobbling off, right knee, he's landed on that awkwardly. Radar, you're spot on.
Team lifting stuff though from Daniel Jackson.
I think they've released Delidio to the midfield, which they needed to do.
Gee, it buckled straight under him. He felt for it straight away. Marriage gets it down to the front. Curnow. Good stuff by Delidio. Look for Edwards. Over the footy is Newman down the line strong. Here's the man they need. Martin getting back in the game. Handballs behind Cochin. Back to Martin. Chest onto goal. Back to Cochin. They've got no way to go. He goes short and finds Ellis.
Well done. Good composure under pressure. He and Cochin, Martin at the 50-metre line. They just couldn't get a clean kick on. They twisted, they turned, they came back, sold dummies, and finally Cochin was able to just spot up Ellis.
Ooh.
He's directly in front, 40 metres out.
Chemist Warehouse replay. Just looked like a real hyper extension there for Daniel Jackson. This bloke's a beautiful kick. Brandon Ellis kicks from just inside 50. He drifts it out to the right, but it hangs on. And he's kicked the goal, and he gives it to Dennis Armfield. They get it back out to 7 points, the Tigers.
Wallsy, it's a good change from Richmond. What they've done is they've pushed Ricky Pettard back into defence. Dylan Grimes has come off, and that's relieved Delidio into the midfield. So Dygan's now playing as a genuine forward. The Carlton runners out to him now, trying to find another matchup because he'd done the job on Delidio.
Yep.
So now Delidio into the midfield, Grimes off, Pettard back.
This quarter for Foxtel, make sure you see your team live every round with no ad breaks, siren to siren in HD on Foxtel.
Well, Daniel Jackson down here. It's actually the ankle radar that he's rolled. They're retaping that at the moment. Obviously the sock on the boot is off. He'll be back out there pretty shortly.
12-7-79 Richmond. Carlton 11-6-72. That breaks a run of 5 consecutive Carlton goals. Ivan Maric wins the tap, but straight to Judd. Didn't get anything on the kick. Titch Edwards, Shane Edwards tries to push it forward. Nothing there. Armfield grabs it for the Blues. Supporter eyes through Robinson. Kicks around the corner. Grimes has got a mark. He does.
He needed that.
Did it well. He's
had a few match-up issues, Dylan Grimes, but...
Well, he's got Murphy at the minute, so he needed to mark it.
Oh, no.
Terrible moment for Grimes. White intercepts the kick, and he's got players everywhere. White's kick, not so good. It was a shocking kick. Curnow was all on his own.
What was Dylan Grimes thinking? It wasn't even close. He's put the ball into the corridor, and White just an easy intercept. He's struggling, the young bloke.
Composure will win this game for either side who has more of it. Comes to Murphy, looping hand pass to Scotland. Scotland back towards Jamison, wrapped up. Gets the hand pass away after getting the arms clear. Scotland to Murphy. Murphy to fall forward. Gloston goes hard at it. Crumbs come Richmond's way. Rance with the releasing kick. It's good. And Griggs marked it up back.
Gee, was poised up from the Tiger defence. Grigg goes down the line. High ball. Didn't really favour Edwards. Could have put it out in front of him. Made it hard and a bit easier for the Carlton defence. And McGuinness got a fist on it. Saw it out of bounds.
So McGuinness is back to Aaron Edwards. That's because Dustin Martin's gone forward. Walker forced to pick him up.
Throw in outer side of the ground. Tigers by 7. Cruz a brilliant tap to Robinson. How's he stayed on the ground? Either of them. Robinson a half forward. Dygan may have had his jumper tugged. Little toe poke. Wait to Dygan. Fumble. Regathers. Murphy. Can he run onto it? No, he can't get there. Gets the footy now. tried to throw it onto the boot of Dylan Grimes and draw it out of bounds on the full then.
Yeah, that's clever, Andy.
The ball went out of bounds, so a throw in.
Oh, they have the mind to do that, and then athleticism to pull it off. Judd's got it, keeps it in close to the boundary line, but Cochin, aware of the danger, just grabbed the footy, got rid of an opponent, and a perfect kick finds Morris, who outmarks Betts.
Robbie Warnock's been important in this quarter as well.
Cochin really trying to lift his side, receives from Morris. He's got it at half back. Morris with the shepherd. I know Cochin was kicking through there, but it went to no one. Henderson, though, a little fumble. He's got to go again, Henderson. Now he's confronted. He stood up there. They get to Robinson. Robinson's kick poor. They've turned it over. Gloucester has it. Here's a chance for Richmond. Tuck's got it. 52 out. Oh, Tucky. He had players everywhere, and he just blazed long and missed badly.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing with Tucky, isn't it? Like just tunnel vision. He had Ellis on his side there just to dish off the handball to.
12-8 plays 11-6. It was a shocking turnover from Carlton that gave Richmond a look at it. Jamison takes the mark, gives it to Garland, outer side of the ground, 2 bounce. In fact, it was Curnow down the line, shocking kick out of bounds on the full.
The Richmond forwards have stopped moving though. I mean, Cochin, we said it was a poor kick, but the forwards didn't move. Martin's deep on the last
and he's resting, isn't he?
Resting
he's not there to kick goals.
He's
at the
not
minute.
moving.
No.
Vickery's not moving.
So a couple of terrible mistakes by the Blues give Richmond back the ball. Ran short to Delidio, cut down by Waite. Ball at ground level. Delidio gets through the bell tackle too easily. Now he's got space in front. 2 bounces through centre wing. Bell chases, gives it to Hawley. Straightens up at half forward. Short ball. Vickery.
Well done, Delidio. Backed himself from half back. Hard contest, dropped the mark, and then shrugged off I think it was the bell tackle, and then said, OK, I'm going to take off. And unselfishly gave it to Hooley, who had a bit of time then to hit up Vickery inside 50.
Well, it was great running to support by Hooley, wasn't it?
They've lifted here, the Tigers.
And Jackson coming back on.
So Vickery will kick from about 40, 45 out on about a 45 to 50 degree angle. It's certainly within him. An emerging young player, Tyrone Vickery, has kicked 2. It's not his best looking kick off the boot. It goes right to the line. Gee, Marriage had a good look at that. Couldn't take the mark off. Hands goes through for a behind. Richmond 12-8, 80. Carlton 12-9, 81. Check that. Carlton 11-6, 72. 9 points the margin. 25 and a bit minutes gone on the SEN Repco Trade scoreboard.
Tui short to the bouncy. Andrew Walker. This kick has to be
great tap by Henderson.
It was great play because they had the numbers, and Simpson was the beneficiary of it. Short pass to Betts. Oh, they're on here, the Blues. Betts to Yaron, who marks on 50. Waits on his own in the goal square, screaming for the footy. Yaron could just about go and kick this.
His best kick will kick it.
Chaplin's back and Marriage is back too. Smart play to hold it up from Yaron.
So short pass to Murphy. Yes!
Oh, good hit.
Dygan! And Dygan could be the man, as I mentioned again.
Tigers would be disappointed with that defensive effort. You had Yaron hold the ball up for significant time. Murphy hold the ball up. They didn't push back quick enough then.
So they're starting to open up Richmond when they get the chance. So Nick Dygan in game, what did I say, number 4 for the year?
You did say that.
What a moment for him.
Already kicked 2, Rob.
It looked over for him. Here he is. He could be the match winner in a final. He kicks for goal. He has 3. Pumps the fist, and why not celebrate that moment? And Carlton get within 3 points again. 12-9, 81 Richmond. The Blues 12-6, 78 Repco Trade scoreboard.
Well, fantastic play, and all started for me. It was great play by Walker then to take on the game. He had options laterally, but no, he said, we're going to have a crack at this. And great decision by Henderson not to mark against Jackson. He knew it was going to fall short, but he tapped it over. He had Simpson running down with him, and then they moved the ball down the ground with real speed. But at the critical time, they held it up and made a good decision to bring the ball inside, and fantastic kick from Dygan, his 3rd goal, an unlikely play that you would get 3 goals out of.
12-9 plays 12-6, couple of minutes to go in this thrilling 3rd quarter. Murphy gets a look at it, taken high, no free kick, says the umpire. In fact, he's paid the advantage. I'm not sure Gibbs necessarily wanted that. He puts it out in front of Yaron, needs a bounce, gathers beautifully. Curnow's running for him here. Oh, this will be a career kick. Eddie Curnow runs inside 50, goes in towards towards the pocket. That's not his forte, and he kicks it out on the full.
Super fit Kerner. Ran really hard to get there to be used. Unfortunately, the kick was poor, but he's a very, very fit footballer.
He's asking a lot of Grimes. He's picking up Yaron again.
There's just not a match-up for him, is there?
It's really, Carlton are doing it well. They're getting the mismatches they want.
So the kick goes long and strong down the line. At ground level, Judd's going to be the first one to get a look at this. He gives it to Bell, just outside 50. Bell thumps it in towards the top of the square. No one there for the Blues. It's all the Tigers, and Chaplin dropping back takes the very, very good defensive mark.
So there's not much play left in this third quarter, and Chaplin's releasing kick is good to Boston. Under 2 minutes left. Boston's got to be perfect. Here he is to Hawley, who marks in between half-back and wing.
Look for Richmond just to hold it up here. 1:25 to go. They've done this all year.
So they are doing exactly that. Just playing keepings off. Ellis to Hawley. Hawley to Rance. He's got it on the wing. And what are we counting now? Just over a minute left in this third quarter on the Coppier Store clock. So Rance will launch long. Need a mark inside 50, and they've got one. Tuck's going to claim the mark. It's been paid.
Now, put it to the top of the goal square. Don't put it near the point post.
He goes short. He's got a player on. It's a good kick. And Richmond have marked it inside 50. That's Shane Edwards.
Cool play on umpire.
Titch Edwards.
Sorry, Titch Edwards. Rob, I won't call him by his name.
How dare you do that?
I know. Just a drop in concentration. So Cotching got a late goal in the opening half, and here is a big kick for Titch. 48 out, tight angle, needs to bend back. It's not coming back. So with 20 odd seconds left, Carlton with a bit of aggression might be able to go coast to coast, but they'll need to be absolutely precise.
Last thing they want to do is turn this over in the dying stages of the third quarter. Tui goes out wide, beautiful kick to Bell. He's got a bit of galloping room in front of him here, Bell. He'll go long down the line. Can they do something? They need a great bounce. It pitches in towards the corridor. Waite gets a bit of a look at it. Not going to be able to get there. Draws the high tackle, did Rance. Now the Tigers are a chance. They're going to get a mark here. Vickery outside 50 marks. Right on the siren. He's kicked. Oh, that's a shocker.
That's a munger. He's gone the top, and it's gone off the side of the boot.
It was all a bit panic stuff from Ty.
He should have went back, yeah.
He should have gone back.
Yep. I'll tell you what, he's fortunate Vickery didn't go back and kick the goal, Tom Bell.
Yeah.
20 seconds to go.
No, just suck it.
Just take the time off the clock. Mick Moldhouse, one of his pet hates. Don't play on when you don't know what's ahead of you.
Who saw this? The Tigers with the opening goal of the third quarter got it out to 32 points. The Blues kicked 6 of the next 7 goals, and they trail by 4 points. Quick thoughts from any of you boys behind me. Scotty Lucas for Quick Fix Solutions.
Super quarter by Carlton. They turned it around in the areas they need to. They won the ball out of the middle, contested possession, which we spoke about in the first half. Well, Carlton won that 44-27. Clearances 15-8. Inside 50s 15-10. They got good matchups. They made Richmond respond to what they were doing. Judd absolutely outstanding. Gibbs and Simpson not far behind.
Well, it's been a super weekend of footy. It started on Friday night. Hawthorn asserted their superiority in the second half. Then we had one of the great Saturdays in the first week of the finals for a long time. This has lived right up to its billing. Not a spare seat in the MCG. And at three-quarter time, it's Richmond 12-10-82, Carlton 12-6-78.
Victoria's largest auction group.
Not far away from the first bounce to start the final quarter with thanks to Brighton Toyota First. First with the feeling before we hear more from the Midas analyst Brad Scott and get the lowdown on the ARM Business Energy stats. Let's get downstairs to Daniel Harpen on the boundary line. Harp.
Let's just recap for Advice Line Injury Lawyers issues today. Radar, Reece Conker, left hamstring, ripped to shreds 14 minutes into the first quarter. The Subway sub, Shane Tuck, came on for the Tigers. And we had Robinson go down with a right hammy strain. Obviously got some assistance and came back out. It's been pretty good for the Blues since then. Cruz has got a right foot issue. He's out there manning out and finishing the game for the Blues. Jackson rolled his right ankle, got that retaped in the third quarter. It's been action stations down here. And I'll tell you what, the Blues are very, very confident. Mick, we've got a spare footer valve up there. He might have burst one at three-quarter time, so we might need it. Troy Menzel still yet to be subbed into the game, so they've got something up their sleeve.
And a few Richmond supporters are bursting a few things at the moment as well.
Some nervous Tigers defenders, I reckon. Carlton's forward line is Yaron, Betts, Garlett, Judd, Jamison and Duigan as the defensive
Are you
forward.
surprised Judd's not in the middle to start the quarter, Brad?
Well, I think they've started Cruiser on the bench and Judd forward so they can have an impact later in this quarter.
Brad Scott.
Bell's been good, he's in the middle.
Brad Scott, our Midas analyst, trusts the auto service experts.
So away we go in the final quarter. It's Richmond by 4 points after leading by 32 in the early stages of the third quarter. Cochin just soccers mid-air, gains about 35 metres for his side. Curnow herring after at the boundary line, and Jackson will ensure
really well,
Yeah, it's a free kick, and Curnow will take it.
He just put himself in a good position where he was vulnerable to that, and Jackson was a bit silly. Curnow, long, Robinson marks for the Blues. Oh, quickly up to Yaron. Yaron takes off. They won't get him, or will they? Really good lunging tackle from Delidio. Morris, though, fumbles. Here's a chance for the Blues. Garland kicks the goal.
Missed the post.
Oh, that would have put them in front.
He had Eddie Betts too.
Yep.
I mean, he kicks the goal. You make the decision, you kick the goal.
Strap yourselves in. It's Richmond by 3 points. This is exciting stuff.
Covering the ground better too, Carl.
Yeah, speed kills, doesn't it?
SEN Husqvarna scoreboard 12-10 plays 12-7. And the ball's going to be rushed out of bounds, about 60 out from the Carlton goal from the restart.
Medsell's got the jacket off. He's got the sub-vest off.
Carlton are dictating play, aren't they? Even though it's Richmond by 3 points, Carlton are getting the setups and matchups that they want.
Fascinating to see who's going to come off for the Blues at ground level. Warnock wraps up Marriage, through the footy out to Jackson. Robinson desperate, dives into the footy. Tuck gets it to Pettard, little toe poke down the line. Jackson marks in front of Yaron.
Well, they need big quarters from Cochin, Delidio, Jackson, the Tigers, to win this game, because they are under threat at the moment.
Short to Revolt. How have you assessed his game, boys?
Been quiet for a while.
Just been playing him really high. I wouldn't be surprised if they play Rewalt deep when they need to win this game late in this quarter.
Goes short to Pettard, finds him.
I reckon Mick Moldhouse would be happy to see Rewalt closer to the wing than the goal square.
Pettard drives it inside forward 50. Dropping short, Cochin favoured by that. Takes the mark in front of Curnow and will kick from about 50 out on a 45-degree angle.
Well, this is amazing, Andy. Cochin kicked 4 goals for the season, and if he kicks this, it'll be his 3rd goal for the game, but he's laid it off.
Short to Aaron Edwards, who's on a far worse angle and about 5 metres closer to goal.
Just really smart from Cochin. I mean, Ed Curnow's an elite endurance athlete, able to run with Cochin up the ground. Cochin thinks he can get him forward and has pushed forward on a number of occasions and got him overhead.
It's kick 2, Edwards. He's been a constant threat all day. Walker's got him now. He's about 4 on him. With a couple of steps, comes in. It's right to the line, and Vickery almost marked it. Gee, Carlton's defenders have not been getting fists on the footy at all today, and the ball at ground level is called for by the umpire, a metre out from goal.
Sub's been made, boys. A Subway sub, and Menzel's come into the game, and McInnes out.
That one spiked through. Oh no, it's a free kick against Robinson for delivery.
Well, it's just a brain fade by Mitch Robinson. He's 3rd man up, and he's just spiked it over the line. And you can't
aware
do
of the
that.
rule.
You've got to know the rules, Scotty.
He's not aware of the rule.
So Big Ivan says, thanks, I'll just go back and kick a goal.
The simplest of goals from the silliest of mistakes. Mitch Robinson unaware of the rules. And on the SEN Husqvarna scoreboard, made for professionals, powered by you. Again, the vital opening goal of the final term. Richmond 13-10-88. Carlton 12-7-79. 9 points to margin, 3 and a bit minutes gone.
Just to make that clear, if you're under any pressure whatsoever in your defensive goal square, you can rush the ball through for a behind. That was a ball up. Robinson went 3rd up, just thumped the ball straight through the behind post, which you cannot do. Free kick every day of the week.
Brad, would all your players be aware of that rule, do you think?
I would certainly hope so.
yeah.
Brad Scott, the Midas analyst. Trust the auto service experts. Well, that was big. So it's Richmond by 9 points. Back in the middle now. They'll go forward here. Gibbs, who had a fantastic third quarter, kicks it towards the half-forward line. Opportunity for the Blues. That's a free kick to Murphy. Surely, yep, big shove on the back.
And he uses it well. He's too far out to score, but he's going to handball off.
And he gets it off to Gibbs. Gibbs kicking laterally, bets the target, and he's marked.
Good. Gee, that's a good mark on Steve Morris.
And it's a real Glenn Cameron group mark of the day. It was a beautiful kick, but Eddie was backtracking and clung on beautifully.
It was indeed, and the handball of Murphy was an interesting one. He sent Gibbs could only go to one area of the ground, yet Richmond just didn't get there, and Morris to have a one-on-one there.
You've got to have a look at this forward line though. Betts, Garlett, Yaron, they've got to play that way.
Eddie, is he the $500,000 man? 30 out straight in front. You betcha he is. 3 for Eddie Betts. He's standing up in the finals. And it's goal for goal here in the final quarter. Nothing in this. It's so tense here at a packed MCG. Richmond 13-10-88. Carlton 13-7-85. This quarter for Pickles Auctions, Victoria's largest auction group.
Fantastic play, fantastic goal by Eddie, and as you said, Brad, it's been the small forwards, hasn't it? Their pace, that pace forward of centre has been so decisive in the second half.
Yeah, they've really got to flow the ball now, Carlton. Can't just bomb it long. Even though Rance has done a pretty good job on Jamison, you suspect it's going to be Carlton's small forwards that are the danger.
And Menzel adds to that mix, doesn't he, coming on as the sub. He's all class.
It's a thriller in front of a massive crowd here at the MCG. Yet to be posted. Cruiser tries to get it to Judd. Marriage does some great follow-up work. Gets it to Cochin, who's been huge in the second half. Gets it to Vickery, who marks in front of Henderson. Wheels around. Just pokes it to the top of the square. Pretty thoughtless kick by Vickery. No one there, and he's wasted the footy a couple of times, the big centre-half forward.
And they've got numbers on the wing.
And now they're out the Blues. Simpson marks. Judd half coast by. He goes out wider still to Walker. Needs to gather at Walker. Close to the boundary line. Does. Has enough time. Goes down the line with a careful kick to Waite. Just got away from his man Rance, who fell over. Then sold him the dummy. Gets around him easily. Bell had a look at it. At ground level, Garlett. 2-on-1. Garlett around the body. Garlett on the line marked. Unbelievable stuff.
Hooley back there, Andy.
In fact, it wasn't Garlett, it was at Betts.
Betts is worrying Stephen Morris at the moment.
Just the speed. Bell got out the back. Betts gets out the back.
Hooley sells some candy at full back in the defensive goal square. Kicks long to the wing. Up they climb. No one marks. Waite best position. Taps it out here towards Simpson. Close to the boundary line. Screws the kick round the corner to Bell, who marks inside 50. He's a big thumping kick, Tommy Bell. Has he got this in him? Gee, be a good kick from there. Might be...
on the run, maybe.
Yeah.
Get the distance.
On the run, I reckon he could. Yeah.
Richmond lead by 3 points. And Tom Bell, who's been in and out of the side this year, has a chance to crack the biggest moment of his fledgling career. He'll be kicking from about 53 metres. In he comes. He's going to give it the kitchen sink. He gives it the lot. Oh, he got there easily, but it was always narrow. So
out of bounds.
Out of bounds on the full. Carlton have come from 32 points down, but they're yet to hit the lead. Richmond by 3 points.
Delidio brings it back in. Goes back from where it came. Big pack, fist. Carlton have got numbers here. Judd breaks inside 50. Puts it up. Betts is on the burst. As is Henderson. Can't mark it. At ground level, Dygan spins around. Gets it out the back to Tui. Top of the square. Numbers everywhere. Robinson!
Well, Dygan again, Andy, part of that. Got the handball to Tui. Bought him a little bit of space. And Tui's kick across the body died on its trajectory, and Robinson contested mark. I'll tell you the thing that Richmond can't do. They cannot defend in their back 50. They can't get a fist on the footy.
Well, he gave away the goal at the other end. He owes his side one. He shouldn't miss. He's going to kick from about 15 to 20 out on about a 45-degree angle. Wrong side for a right footer. But he should make no mistake. This to give Carlton the lead. He comes in and he's put it through. Extraordinary scenes here at the MCG. That's his second. When Edwards kicked the first goal of the third quarter, this was a Tiger coronation. Since then, it's been all Carlton. The Tigers have only kicked the 2. Carlton have kicked plenty.
I'm glad he kicked the goal, Robinson, because only about 4 minutes ago, he gave one up when he just didn't think and punched the ball through for a behind, what he thought was a rush behind. You can't do that from a ball up. So I'm glad he's been able to make amends.
8 of the last 10 goals to Carlton.
And this final quarter, a cracker for Pickles Auctions, Victoria's largest auction group. This is developing into a classic and could be one for the ages if the Blues can pinch this game. It's all theirs at the moment in terms of momentum, but nothing in it once more. Gee, they've evened up the inside 50s count. It's back to 41 to 37.
First time they've been in front since the 16-minute mark of the first quarter.
Well, it's 5-2 this quarter.
So Marriage wins. We're still in the middle of the ground. Bell with momentum just leaves it behind. Menzel for a first touch at the bottom of the pack. The ball won't come out, and we'll restart once more in the middle with Carlton 3 points in front of Richmond. The Richmond nightmare has become a reality. They've charged out of the blocks and they've given up a big lead they're not done with yet. Martin hacks it forward. Edwards, one of the danger players on the ground for the Blues, who emerge with the footy. Walker has it now, kicks it hurriedly to centre half forward. Cruz at the target, Curnow there, and he's going to get a free kick.
No, Cochin got him around the neck, no doubt about the free.
Morris isolated on Betts in the goal square, 1 out.
So Richmond must hold here. They can't concede another quick goal. Murphy cruising past. Menzel's the target, knocked away from him. And over the line, there'll be a boundary throw in. The Blues inside 50 once more.
Dangerous here for Richmond with all these Carlton small forwards at this stoppage.
91 plays 88. The Blues in front. Who would have thought? When the Tigers got out to that 5+ goal lead early in the third, Bell runs onto it. Tommy Bell inside 50, kicks it out on the full again. No, he doesn't. Squeeze it through for a behind. Geez, hard running, strong, full-chested stuff. Bell 14-8, 92. Carlton. Richmond 13-10, 88. This quarter, thanks to Pickles Auctions, all of that on the SEN Husqvarna scoreboard.
And Richmond have almost got to dare to win this now. They're almost out on their feet, but who's going to stand up for them? Long kick from Newman to half back, and the run of the Tigers has dried up.
I reckon the change has been made. Riewoldt going now back to play as the deepest forward for Richmond. He's played high all day. Now he's playing deep on Jamison.
Toohey free behind the ball.
Boundary throw in. Marriage wrestling with Warnock. Wins it to Tuck. Here's Cochin on the left. Goes to Riewoldt. He's surrounded there by Blues defenders, and Walker will see it over the line. Boundary throw in. Richmond slightly into attack. It's an area of the ground where they haven't been for some time. 12 minutes gone on the CompuStore clock. Final term. Warnock taps it to Scotland, who leaves it behind. Marriage wins it to Martin. Martin kicks it to a dangerous spot at half-back. Simpson hard at it, but leaves it behind. Jackson's got it now. Short pass was no good. Comes to Vickery. Vickery wraps up the Carlton man there. Chance. Edwards is strong. Tackled. Brilliant tackle there on the last line. Jamison mops up and gets it to Murphy.
Unbelievable stuff on the last line. Murphy finally gets a handle on it. Toe pokes it along the ground to Yarran. He's got 2 to beat. The outlet handball to Dygan was brilliant. Dygan gets it to Simpson. Needs a bounce. Gets it. Has a bounce now. Runs to half forward. Waite one out. The kick suits him. Waite should mark it. He doesn't. Tigers get the numbers back. Wrapped up. What's the umpire going to say? He's sweating on him. He's sweating on him, and he says, "I'll ball it up." Oh, gee.
Gee, what about the transference of the ball from Carlton's defensive 50 to forward pocket? Brilliant.
Both sides exhausted. Inside 50, Tuck flips it out to Marriage. Can't get a handle. Waite goes in, picks it up at his bootlaces, gets it to Judd. Judd! 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 The Blues have kicked another one.
Andy Marr up on his feet.
Can you believe it? Carlton got it out to 10 points as Judd kicks his first. Carlton 15-8, 98. The Tigers 13-10, 88. Where has this come from?
It's come from Chris Judd.
Yeah.
He started it in the third quarter, and his mates have jumped on board.
And it's come from the contest, Rob.
Yeah.
Brad, hasn't it? Harder around the ball.
Well, now contested possession is more of a premium now than ever. Both forward lines look really dangerous. Rance is back there isolated on Waite. Riewoldt's now playing as the deepest forward, isolated with Jamison. Whoever can win contested possession wins the game.
Since half-time, plus 22 to Carlton in contested ball.
Oh, they're going forward again. Warnock's got it, belts it to full forward. Wasn't a great kick, but it's dangerous here for Richmond. Tap towards Grimes. In trouble. Hand pass to Morris. They're sweating all over him. Garland almost takes it away, but Richmond gets it again. Hooley has it now to the wing, but Vickery's outnumbered. And Walker knocks it over the line.
Walker's been terrific.
Hasn't he?
He's got plenty of bounce. He's fit. and his fitness is standing out as this game goes on. And just able to get to contests.
Attack the contest as well as I've seen him.
How will Richmond respond to this? It'd be devastating to lose in this fashion. Gloston has it now, gets it to Jackson. Jackson scraps it forward. Marriage wrestling did well, big Avan, and he's got it now. Oh, Avan can kick a goal round the corner on the bounce. How about that? Unbelievable goal from Avan Marriage. His second. It simply doesn't get any better if you're 202 centimetres.
Well, it was one of the better goals of the year, but it was definitely the best celebration from a goal for the year. Marriage has run 50 metres, punching the air, punching every teammate that's run past him.
Well, fellas, 94, 690 here today.
Well, I'll tell you what, they've seen a ripper game, and Marriage, ball bounced over Henderson's head. He got onto it. He was 50 metres out, and he ran and carried the 10, and then he had to hook it, and it landed just near the base of the goalpost. And a big celebration, and boy, if ever they needed a lift to Richmond, that's it.
Oh, it's a Chisholm game and goal of the day contender. It's the one they badly needed. Back at the restart, Judd's in there again. Vickery gets it out to Cochin. Cochin sends Richmond forward again to half forward. Martin loses his footing, regathers it quickly. Tui sweats on him. Did well, the Irishman. Gets it to Robinson. Robinson thumps it long. There's going to be 3-on-1 here. Dygan did very, very well, as did Morris. This is last man standing stuff. Pettard, no free kick. Should have been in the back to the Tiger. Not paid, says the umpire. I'll have a ball up out of side of the ground, centre wing.
Morris and Dygan, how about that?
Final quarter thanks to Pickles Auctions. This is as good as it gets, folks. Hopefully you're enjoying it no matter where you are. Ball to half forward, Yaron and Newman. The young and the old. Newman cramping up. Keep an eye on him, Half. He's going to feel the pinch, the old boy. But he's not
still there.
I think Half's still down there.
It's frenetic down here, boys. I'm fatigued. I need a rotation.
Cruiser, Vickery did well. Robinson's had a big last quarter. Kicks it in, boy, quickly. And Waite standing still in the pocket. Marks.
Good ruck work.
Well, this is what we talked about. Zach Tui, one-on-one, half-back flank with Dustin Martin. Massive contest. Martin wins those 9 times out of 10. Tui held his feet, won the contest. Dygan back with the flight. Super contested stuff from the Blues.
From Mitch Robinson, going off the ground looking like he was done for the day, has been outstanding.
His kick 3 has weight. He's played forward instead of Henderson. If he kicks 4, it's the job well done. It's on its way. The Carlton faithful go up behind the goal. Waite's got his 4th. Carlton have got the quick answer, and they get it back to 10 points in front of 94,690 people. Carlton 16,804. Richmond 14,1094. All of that on the SEN Husqvarna scoreboard. For Midas, Brad Scott, you've seen a game of footy, mate.
Well, it's been a game that's ebbed and flowed. Richmond dominated early, and we've talked about it all day. It's been in the contest, and this is the quintessential final. Who can stand up in pressure moments? Who can win the crucial contest? For Carlton then, it was Tui, it was Dygan, it was Gibbs, and then the mark and conversion from Waite.
18 minutes gone of the final quarter on the CompuStore clock. Still time for Richmond.
1-on-1 all over the ground.
Cruiser wins that tap. It's been a Cruiser and Warnock show again in many respects, and Ruckman in finals so valuable.
It has. Hit-outs to advantage, 19 to Carlton, 8 to Richmond, so decisive.
Give that one to Marsh, straight to Murphy, who's wrapped up by Grigg, and again there'll be a ball up in the middle. Gee, it's a big ball now, whoever can claim it. And there's simply no room. Ball won't come out. And Curnow fighting hard. He's been a good player today, Curnow.
No.
Is he going to ping him? He is. Oh dear. Richmond free kick. That's Armfield had nowhere to go. But Martin's got the footy, or Delidio's got the footy for the Tigers. Straight up the guts. No mucking around. They need a mark. Not going to get it. Sliding in from the side. Lockie Henderson takes a good grab, and he's got.
And they're out again.
Got Gibbs out. Another one might finish Richmond off. Gibbs running at half-back, just tiptoeing his way out. He's got Scotland on in the middle. He finds Scotland, who's lifted. Scotland in space now, and the space is opening up for the Blues. Warnock wrestling, knocked away from him. Straight to Delidio, Richmond ball. Delidio gets it back. Oh, he had to be careful there. Here's Rance, taking them on, Rance. Hand pass over the top. Richmond with a chance. Things opening up as fatigue sets in. Grigg kicks inside 50. Vickery and Henderson knocked away. Richmond with the numbers. Jackson's got it now. He'll kick it to the forward pocket. Walker's aware of the danger. He'll see it over, I reckon. Menzel's there, close to the boundary line. Carlton want to get it out. Richmond want to keep it in. And finally, it goes over the line.
She's a game of inches out there.
Still 7 minutes to go. Both sides can't panic. I reckon Richmond are trying to play really fast footy here. There's plenty of time left.
Ball in. Vickery, Marriage, Cruiser. Big boys all around. Gibbs gets it. Gets out of the contest. Good kick into a one-on-one. Warnock, Chaplin. Ball bounces. Garlett runs onto it. Got away from his man Hooley. Let him get a bit of separation. Around the body. Duigan! Nick Duigan plays on. Gives it to Judd. Judd 25 on. He's going to come back.
No, he'll come back to Duigan.
He's played on off his mark, so Duigan will go back.
Aren't you allowed
Why can't he play on after a mark?
The umpire must have called time.
I'd rather Duigan had it anyway, Andy.
That's right, Andrew. That's what happened.
Although that Judd and then Betts and the guy, they could have got a Joe the Goose just because
Now Nick Duigan has kicked 3.
But he hasn't missed, has he? Why did he go sideways to Judd?
Well, that's a very good question. So Duigan will kick from 35 out, as good as directly in front. The Blues by 10. He's kicked 3. He comes in. It's a high ball. It's a straight ball. It's a goal. Nick Duigan has kicked 4 goals at the MCG in an elimination final, and Carlton now lead by 16 points, 17-8, 110. 14-10, 94. I can scarcely believe what I've seen.
I sound like a broken record. 10 inside 50s, 5 goals, 2. If you're going to get 10, if you score 7 times from 10 entries, ask a lot of questions about the opposition's defence.
Yeah, I think the Richmond defenders, one-on-one, have struggled.
And the speed, hasn't it? That once we saw Henderson take the mark, he went. He had Gibbs. He had Simpson running. They've just moved the ball far too quickly for Richmond.
Avan trying to hack it forward. He's going against Cruiser, but Carlton simply getting a heap of numbers around the contest now. Robinson's one of those. Gets rid of a couple. Kicks to half forward.
Duigan again.
Newman up there. Oh, Grimes has got it for the Tigers. They're in a world of hurt now. 22 minutes gone. Jackson's got it run down by Garlett. Super tackle. And it's a turnover. Oh, the kick from Robinson, poor. Should have really hit Duigan there, who's kicked 4 goals, would you believe? Shane Ellen-esque. Richmond get it back. They needed something quickly. Jake King's got it 55 metres out. Quickly needs to find Revolt or Vickery. He loads up long. Vickery's the go-to guy here. Can he mark? No, the Blues have
Cruiser's fist.
I was going to say he's learned his lesson from the first quarter.
Hey, half, keep an eye on Mark Murphy, mate. He pulled up really short before.
Yeah, the physio's out to him at the moment. He did run out to him, but Murph's pushed him away, so it seems to be okay at the minute, but I'll keep an eye on him.
Half, is there anything wrong with Jack Rewalt? Interested, he's on the bench with 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, no, he's okay. He's up and about. We're just waiting for his rotation, Scotty.
So Murphy pushed through whatever's troubling him there to take the mark. Got it to Yaron. There's a Holt on play.
There's a blood rule. Matt Cruiser's coming out with blood honker. Except to cut above his eye, just putting right down the middle.
Thank you, Daniel Harford, for coat's hire. Has not missed a beat down there today, and there's been a fair bit happening. So play to resume. The umpire says to Chris Yaron, off you go. Bring it back in. He kicks from the back pocket, down the line. Looks for Warnock. Marriage has been massive in the last 15 minutes for the Tigers. If any man's trying to get Richmond back into this game, it's Ivan Marriage. He's been huge.
Yeah, but the thing is, Andy, as hard as he's trying, Warnock and Cruiser are working just as hard.
And being better.
And they're working him over a bit. Here is Marriage winning another clearance to Jackson, who's trying really hard. Underground out past to Grigg. Grigg just loads it up, goes for Vickery, wrestling, almost marking. Comes to Armfield, he's tackled. Here's Scotland to Simpson, and Simpson belts it out of the danger area, and Betts marks on the wing.
Legs again, he was behind, he was in the disadvantaged position, but with just the leg speed got past Morris and took an important mark.
And he was sort of pushed into the Carlton interchange bench there.
She's played a good game, Eddie.
Just getting a time check too from the boys on the bench.
Betts kicks to half forward, waits, big fly, couldn't take the grab. And the ball is over the line. Oh, big clash of heads there. Morris and also Robinson.
Don't do anything silly, Mitch.
2 hard heads there.
What did you just say, Brad?
It's a coach's nightmare. Don't give away a free kick now.
Boundary throw in. Warnock gets there first, taps it to Gibbs. He's wrapped up. Ball's not coming out. So there's 4 minutes and 10 seconds left of playing time. Ball did come out. Delidio won it. Belts it up towards the half-forward line. Aaron Edwards started like a house on fire today. He's got it once more. Corralled by Walker. Here's Martin. Martin's got Grigg, and Grigg will kick him inside 50. Searching for a way through. There's not much there. So he just kicks it and hope. Where's Jack? Jack's held on. Henderson, an awesome mark.
Yeah,
that's a Glenn Cameron Group mark of the day. Running the same way.
That is the mark of the day.
That is finals winning stuff.
And you would have liked Jack Revolt to go as hard as that, and he didn't.
Brilliant stuff, great call. Henderson down the line. Warnock gets a big fist. Marriage again, tirelessly the big man. If they go down, it's not going to be his fault. He carried about 3 with him on the back. Gibbs through the footy. Umpire said play on. Wait and Yarran, oh, they buggered that up, the Blues. Wait and Yarran had it. And they couldn't get clean ball with a lot of field in front of them.
Glad you cleaned it up, Andy.
Oh, I could have said something else.
Lockie Henderson, you are a hero.
That was one of the great finals marks. Warnock, Marriage. At ground level, Curnow can't take it. Tuck did. Tried to find Cochin. Gibbs has played one of his really good games today. He's been hard at it.
He has.
Yeah.
He has. And 26 disposals.
12 clearances, 17 contested possession. It's been a huge day for Bryce Gibbs.
Yeah, he's had his knockers over the journey. Some say he doesn't work hard enough for his own footy. Well, he's done it today.
Not Stephen Kernahan.
No, he's a big rat. At ground level, Pettard goes in. Marriage again. What a last quarter he's played. Fires the handball out to the desperation of Jackson, who got the ball to Vickery. Back into Ellis at centre half back. They've got to hit the scoreboard now quickly, the Tigers. Vlosten, who started brilliantly. Judd vacuums it up. Gets it to Menzel. Clever kick across the top. Digan runs to half forward. He goes to Gibbs. Gibbs will have the fly. Up he goes. Can't take the mark at ground level. His recovery is brilliant. Around the body. It'll be a magnificent exclamation mark. He doesn't get the footy to the line. At the last line, the Tigers continue to repel. It's desperation stuff, but it's coming back in.
Oh, Chaplin's kick wasn't good, and Cruiser grabs it now. Gets it off towards Robinson. They're on here again, the Blues. Gibbs has got it. Centering kick. Not much there for Carlton. Marriage has got to go, and Bigavan does.
Only 2 minutes to go. I think time's running out for Richmond.
So the Tigers, Delidio gets it and goes. He takes off Delidio. Jack's got to turn around. He just shanks the kick a bit. Goes towards Revolt, trying to work off Jamison. He's got a Jack Revolt. Jamison's got him though, and it was enough to cause a turnover. Scotland to Walker. Walker into the back pocket. He sees it over. There'll be a boundary throw in inside the final 2 minutes, and it's Carlton remarkably leading by 15 points.
What a game of footy it's been. Tigers' hearts will be breaking all over the MCG unless they can come up with a miracle here. The game was theirs early in the third quarter, but Carlton, they've done on a number of occasions recently against Richmond, and they were 7 down. Against Port Adelaide last week, and they were 37 down. They've found a way.
It's been a great response from Nick Molehouse at half-time.
It really has. You can hopefully isolate a few things after half-time for us, Brad, who's our Midas analyst today. They get it going again. Robinson's made a couple of blues, but gee, he's been stout-hearted, has Mitch Robinson, clearly playing hurt. Gets it to half-forward. Rance under pressure. There's the interception. Jeff Garland picks it off. Runs inside 50. One bounce. Two bounces. Top of the square. Has a look around. That is it.
Listen to that. Amazing. They had their high fives everywhere in the crowd. He just stole it, Jeffy Garland. He stole it 65 metres, 70 metres out from goal. He put the tackle on Rance. And he's just jumped through. One bounce. Two. And isn't it beautiful, Andy?
Wasn't it just the forward pressure? It was forward pressure. It was what you want your forwards to do. It was Betts, then it was Waite putting pressure on. Rance, the ball spills free, and Garlett swoops on it. Fantastic forward play.
Damien Hardwick's walked out of the coach's box. He's had enough.
That is a Chisholm and Gaiman goal of the day.
Wherever you go, say hello.
Oh, a minute left. Blues can celebrate. Cochin's got it. He sends Richmond forward now. Revolt will mark. Oh, he left it behind.
Is that a bad one, Jack?
He has. Jamison heads for the backman's best plate. The boundary line sees it over. And there'll be a boundary throw. And what a triumph this is going to be for Carlton. And Mick Moldhouse, they've come from nowhere late, helped by the Essendon situation, but they've claimed the prize. They did it the hard way by coming from behind against Port Adelaide. They're going to do the same against Richmond. Bell up to the wing. Eddie Betts is marked. Seconds counting down. Eddie brings it inboard to Judd. Big roar for the former skipper.
Yeah, and the crowd knows that this is the man who got them up and going.
Yeah. They're just going to milk the clock now. The game is theirs. All Richmond resistance has ended. The clock is ticking down. What a moment for the Carlton Football Club. 32 points down in the early stages of the third quarter. The game looked lost. And they've restricted Richmond to 2 goals in the second half. Well, what happened there?
Menzel dropped it.
He's turned it over, and in the dive, the Blues have won. The Blues have come from nowhere to win the game. Mick Moldhouse and Carlton have won an elimination final, and here we go with that old Navy Blue song. By 20 points before a crowd of 94,690. Heartbreak for Richmond. This game was theirs for 2.5 quarters, but Carlton changed a few things up and they got the matchups and the structures that they wanted, and they've run over the top of them.
Unbelievable stuff. Carlton 18-8, 116 have defeated Richmond 14-12, 96. Major goal kickers for the Blues. Dygan and Waite with 4 apiece, 3 to Betts, 2 to Garlett and Robinson.
We are the old dark Navy Blues. We're the team that never lets you down. We're the only team old Carlton knows. We're called the champions. They like to send up. We'll keep our end up, and they will know that they've been playing against the famous old dark Blues.
This quarter of SEN Football was brought to you by Pickles Auctions, Victoria's largest auction group. Match review for Harvey Norman Factory Outlets, the big green buildings at Dandenong, Ringwood and Richmond.
That is the SEN Harvey Norman Factory Outlets match review. Get on the line, folks. 9429 1116. Send through your text 043398 1116, or you can tweet through on at SEN Footy. How are these Richmond boys feeling right now? That's a 9-goal turnaround. 12 of the last 15 goals were kicked by Carlton. They led by 32 points when Edwards kicks that first goal in the third quarter. Take us inside these Richmond jumpers at the moment. What are they going through right now?
Oh, well, they can't believe it, but they just don't defend well. Once the ball gets into their back half, they play from behind. They don't spoil aggressively. They get caught out for pace. Carlton's little blokes were just too quick for them. And statistically, like Carlton had less inside 50s, and they built it up as the game went on, as their confidence grew. But they're just saying to Shane Tuck, leading the team off, this is his last game for Richmond. But this is a pretty devastating loss for Richmond, because once you get in front like that, you shouldn't let the game slip. But full marks to Carlton and their midfielders, led by Judd, Murphy, Gibbs, Robinson. Curnow did a good job, and then the little fellas up forward, led by Eddie Betts. And don't forget Dygan's role. He was sent up there to be a negative forward. On Delidio, well, he did a reasonable job there, but importantly, he's ended up kicking 4 goals. I thought Warnock was really good in the ruck.
Brad Scott's been with us thanks to Midas, trusty auto service experts. We won't hold you for too much longer, but when you turn a game around like that, I mean, it's never just one or two things. It's a collective across the board. But could you identify and isolate a couple of things after half-time that saw them really sort of seize the initiative and run with it?
Well, it's staggering to sit here now at the end of the game. And if we'd said at half-time that Carlton would finish 8 up in contested possession, we would have said there's been a massive turnaround in structure and personnel. It wasn't necessarily structure and personnel. It was getting Judd into the midfield with Gibbs. And their third quarter was just something to behold. That's the best I've seen Bryce Gibbs play live. Absolutely outstanding game from him. So anyone who's criticised Bryce Gibbs in the past, get a copy of this game, because along with Judd, he got Carlton back in the game. I thought Mick made some great changes at half-time, put a really dangerous forward line together. Carlton were looking dangerous when they went forward anyway, but it was that contested possession that was the key. Richmond dominated that particular statistic in the first half. Carlton completely turned it on its head in the second half, and they were able to capitalise when they went forward.
Extraordinary stuff. They are a stunned Richmond faithful here who can barely believe what's happened to them. And equally, the Carlton supporters are going to be overjoyed with this, Scotty. I mean, they have come from nowhere, and that is just one of those. It doesn't matter what happens next week, really. They'll hope they go up to Sydney and knock over the Swans.
They're every chance to beat Sydney.
That'll have taken a fair bit out of them, but they've got this thing going at the moment where they're never out of games, seemingly.
And Sydney are bruised and battered, and you look at personnel-wise, they're excellent in contested ball and around the contest. If they can match Sydney in that area, they've got some small forwards that can trouble them. And I thought a lot of great efforts, but that 4 goals, the target, the presence, and also you saw Lockie Henderson. He was able to stay there because Waite was so good, and they complemented each other very, very well, and very good efforts by a lot of players, and a great effort and a great second half, full of character.
We'll get down to the Carlton rooms. That's where Daniel Huff is. I mean, there must have been a temptation early when it wasn't working for them to throw Waite back and get Henderson forward, but if there was that temptation in the coach's box, they resisted. Ultimately, it's paid huge dividends.
Yeah, I don't think that was the problem. I think every time Carlton went forward, they were fine. They looked really dangerous. So I didn't think that was a move that Mick needed to make. But importantly, Vickery and Edwards in particular were dangerous early, and Henderson and the boys were doing the job back there.
Half, what's it like down there, mate?
There's some of the great moments in footy, these, Radar, and it's just a privilege to be a part of this. The joy amongst the faces of the support staff, all the listed players that aren't playing today, the faithful that are here, the board. Mick is walking around with this massive grin on his face. It's an amazing place to be right now, the Carlton change rooms. The players are cock-a-hoop, as you can imagine they would be after such a performance, coming back from where they did at half-time in this game. It's going to be a roaring edition, Radar, and I wouldn't mind hearing you in the background, if you don't mind, when they get into this song. This is a very special win for the Navy Blues.